Tuned Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of a drunken degenerate watching the National Football League. And welcome everybody to Stay Tuned Sports here on this Saturday afternoon, getting ready for some football here, and a pretty good one, I would imagine. So the Houston Texans taking on the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles there at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. There's so many locations, we don't know what the hell's going on. But thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. If you'd like to help us out at all, and I know you want to because you're just nice, generous people, it's the Christmas season. It's time to be giving. It's time to be nice. And you can give to us by go ahead and hitting that like button, hitting that share button. And, of course, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out tremendously. You got to live to give, baby. And that's what you can do there for us. And guess what? That giving, absolutely free. If you do want to put a little more extra effort into it, a little bit more supporting directly, you can do so over in the links in the top of the chat and in the description below. We have a link for our donation station and for our merch store. We can do that. Again, I think I'm in the process of trying to switch all that over to Not what am I trying to say here? Patreon, that's the one. Because right now we're on Buy Me a Coffee, so I'm in the middle of trying to move that over there. And we'll start having it over there since I think it's easier to do the payments that way. So we'll try to do that, but I want to thank you all for doing that. If you do that, and if not, hey, listen, you can go to our merch store. It's like donating, except you get something for it. We got a lot of great products there for you that you can go ahead and send to us. Why did this pop off? I want this to, man, I really do hate when these games are on NFL Network. It really is the worst. There we go. I think this is better now. Let's see. NFL Network is a pain in the dick. And we got, they got Rich Eisen on the game here. Oh boy. Strap in, folks. This will be a good one. This will be a good one. Nothing's good. Nothing's as good as listening to Rich Eisen on the call, except for maybe me. ELS in the chat, Crafty in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to join us in the chat, be part of the community, be part of the back and forth we have with everybody here, you can do so right now. It is open. Irish in the chat as well. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, when you go into the chat, make sure you click on the top little toggle there that says top chat. Make sure it says live chat. You want live chat, not top chat, because otherwise you're going to miss half the conversation happening with our boys like Irish, like Lloyd. Sometimes he gets in there as well. I don't know why. YouTube just doesn't like these guys for some reason, but I like them, and you will too. So if you go into the chat, make sure you click on live chat and not top chat to make sure you can see everybody in there. So great to see you. Irish is, of course, very excited for this game. He's our resident Texan fan. We have ELS in here, our resident Packers fan. They play later on tonight against the Ravens. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that game or not. I was this close to not being able to do this one. My throat's a little sore, you know. I gave a lot on Christmas, you know what I'm saying? Oh, no. No, it's just I think I came down with something. So we'll see how long the voice lasts for this game, and we'll see if I feel up to doing the Packers-Ravens game. We'll see what happens there. But for now, it appears that the Texans are going to get the ball here first, as the Chargers have won the toss and will elect to kick it. Crafty in the chat says, nothing's better than listening to Rich Eisen unless you're Matt Araiza. Boy, only a return to the 15 or 16 there for the Texans. My God. They're going to give them up to the 16. And here comes C.J. Stroud and the Texans in their all-white uniforms there. Helmets are blue. They have that steel blue helmet. White jerseys, white pants, and white socks. First and 10 for the Strouds. Hand off to Woody Marks. Woody Marks is going to get that up to the 21-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 coming up here. ELS said, King, since I missed yesterday's pick stream, here are my picks. He's got the Texans for today. He's got the Packers for tonight, obviously. He's got the Bengals, Seahawks, Steelers, Titans, Jags, Bucks, Pats. Don't pick the Giants. Hey, I kind of narrow them on to the whole number one. That game is going to be hard to watch. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try to watch that Giants-Raiders games. Bills, 49ers, and, of course, then the Rams wrapping up on Monday night against the Falcons. Hand off to Woody Marks one more time, and this time he's going to get 3 yards, 3.5 yards. They're going to say a full 4, so it's a 3rd and 1. I thought he had a little bit more to go there, but they're going to say 3rd and 1 coming up here. The Chargers wearing their San Diego 90s faux-back uniforms here with the navy blue helmets with the white lightning bolt. Navy blue jerseys with the modern number font and navy blue pants. Third and short coming up here for Houston. Stroud back, looks, surveys the field, throws deep ball over the middle, wide open, caught, and no one's going to get him. Touchdown, Houston Texans. Holy Toledo. Jaden Higgins, 75-yard touchdown pass, and the Texans are first on the board. This looked like a flick of the wrist from Stroud and just right over the top. Nobody there. Higgins just blew everybody away, and it was just good night. See you later. Irish in the chat says, let's effing go. Of course, being a Texans fan, excited to see that. Kick is up. It is good. And it is a full 7-0 lead for the Houston Texans, opening this game up with a bomb from Stroud to Higgins. A little bit of a Magnum PI connection there. And 7-0, the Houston Texans now lead over the home team Chargers. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's a way to start a game right there. That is a way to start the game if you're a Texans fan. Irish in the chat says, I hope nobody else gets injured for the Packers, ELS. To which then Crafty says, Irish don't need to worry. They don't have anyone to get injured. Crafty says, hey, you showed more emotion than the TV comment. Well, it's Rich Eisen. And listen, I like Rich Eisen as a talk show host. I love him as the host of Game Day, NFL Game Day Morning on Sundays. That's one of my go-to NFL pregame spots. But as a play-by-play commentator, him and Kurt Warner, again, love Kurt Warner on the set of NFL Game Day Morning and those things. But as a color commentator, those guys in the booth are audio OxyContin, baby. They are just audio fentanyl. They're gonna straight make you nod. I don't. And they have them do like the international games, and it's just like, listen, I'm not saying I'm a great shake. I'm not saying I'm a good play-by-play guy, as I'm sure you guys know. I'm just sitting here watching games and going off and doing, my own goofy ass shit. That being said, even if I was me, and I had the choice of either listening to me or listening to Rich Eisen call a game. Again, I'm no great shakes. I'm not putting myself on no pedestal. That's not me. That's not how I feel. I believe most other people who do broadcasting, who do play-by-play and color commentary, much better than I could ever possibly hope to be. But Rich Eisen, man, I would say stick to the weird interviews that you do on your show. I would say do that. That's all. And again, I like Rich Eisen's show. I do. I enjoy it. I like Overreaction Mondays that he does. I like I like his little bits that he has, and I think he's a very entertaining talk show host. He absolutely is. He's not a great play-by-play guy. Irish says, "Okay, now here comes the pain. Here comes the pain." Also known as the Texans defense. Well, we'll see, because they let the Raiders of all teams just kind of put a whole bunch of points up on you guys. 21 points by the Raiders against this vaunted Texans defense. So I don't know. I'd still be a little worried here. That kick's going to go about 2 yards into the end zone. Kneel down. Going to be a touchback for the Chargers. And now the Chargers come onto the field looking to tie this game up with their first possession of the game.
Go Chargers, go!
ELS in the chat says, King, I'm going to Green Bay Gamblers hockey game on December 29th. I'll put some shorts from the game up on my YouTube channel. That's, by the way, if you want to go check out ELS's channel, not only does he have trains, he's a big train guy, but he also does these cool little shorts from going to the Green Bay Gamblers games. I know he goes to a lot of college hockey games, a lot of the Green Bay Blizzard indoor football games. He does that as well. 1st and 10 for the Chargers. It's going to be a gain of about 2 yards. O'Marion Hampton with the carry. Second and 8 coming up here for the Chargers. Pump action there from Herbert, and then it's going to be a draw, and that's only going to get up to about the 43rd and 5 upcoming for the Chargers. ELS in the chat says, King, by the way, what was the reaction of the Broncos almost losing to third-string Kansas City team? I just, you know what my reaction was that was my reaction. I was just like, I'm trying to tell you. I keep on trying to tell you. Oh, no, Herbert, he's going to get sacked all the way back at the 30-yard line, and that's going to be 4th and 14. Coming up, and the Chargers are going to go 3 and out. Are going to have to punt the ball away.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
So just like that. Again, I was at my sister-in-laws. There we go. You got to put the wrong parentheses and S, the right possessive S on the right word there. My sister-in-laws for Christmas. Ooh, that might be a flag. Or was that just a block? Was it the... It did hit him, and I don't think he got there early. So, yeah, no flag, and there was no flag thrown. Good call by the officials on that one. Hey, it's rare we get a good call from the officials. But there we go. Irish in the chat says, it has begun. It has begun. If anybody remembers Mortal Kombat from 95, one of the greatest movies ever made, and the man who did play Shang Tsung, and he's also played a lot of other characters as well. I know he was in Man in a High Castle and a lot of other things. Great character actor, did a lot of great B movies and stuff like that. He just recently passed away for him, so that's definitely one of the separates. But, God, Mortal Kombat 95, what a great goddamn movie that was. And ELS, yeah, that Vikings game, like I said, I was at my sister-in-law's, so I didn't get to see the Dallas Redskins game. I didn't get to see really any games. I saw the end of the Broncos-Chiefs game after I got home. Because we had left, I think we left like as that game was in the first quarter somewhere, and then we finally is when we left, and then we got back home. By the time we got back home, it was, I want to say, like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So Crafty says, Vikings would be a great team if they had a real franchise quarterback. They thought they had one. He keeps on getting injured, and when he's in, he's inconsistent. So I don't know. Like I said, if you're the Vikings, do you flush the J.J. McCarthy project already? I hate to see that. I don't want to see young quarterbacks just be thrown out with the bathwater. Same with, like, I know people are already kind of like saying certain things like that with other quarterbacks, like with Dylan Gabriel and with Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland, saying just get rid of everybody. I'm not willing to give up on either one of those quarterbacks yet. You have people here in New York saying, get rid of Dart, go and draft Mendoza and get rid of Dart, trade Dart away. It's like, are we like 6 weeks ago, you guys were lining up to suck his balls, and now it's trade him, get rid of him. Like what are we doing? Like what are we doing here? This is why if you're an NFL GM, the moment I forget who said the line. Was it Parcells or Lombardi? It was one. I think it might have been Parcells. He's like, the moment you start listening to the fans is when you're going to sit with them because you're going to get your ass fired. Like you can't. The fans are stupid. The individual fan might be smart, might have some good ideas, might have all those things. The fans as a collective, a group, fans are fucking stupid. Just straight up retarded. Justin Herbert might be shaken up here. Again, he's been playing with a broken hand. And as they say, you see him coming off the field. He's got his hand dropped. They're saying that he tried to use his right hand to undo his chin strap instead of using, the hand that's broken. So Stroud on first down throws. Is that caught? I thought he dropped it. I guess, yeah, it's good. First down. Handoff here to Woody Marks on 1st and 10. From the 41, he's going to get to the 46. So it's going to be a 5-yard gain. ELS in the chat letting us know the Pop-Tarts Bowl right now currently BYU up on Georgia Tech 10-7. With 5:33 remaining in the second quarter there. I'm a Ramble Jack from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. And I drink my whiskey clear. 2nd and 5. Stroud throws. That's going to be caught. And that's going to be about an 11-yard gain there for Hutchinson. And that's going to be a first down. As they are now at the Houston Texans 46-yard line. No, I'm sorry. They're at the Chargers 43. I don't know why I read that wrong. I saw that for the previous play. Okay. They're already down at the 43-yard line of the Chargers. They are moving the ball. Stroud steps back. Looks. Does another little wrist flick pass. Might not be caught. Touchdown! Texans again. Stroud just does that little boop, and it's a touchdown. Unbelievable. 43 yards this time. Oh, my dear sweet Lord. Jalen Noel. I get, this time of year, who better to get a touchdown than somebody named Noel? And just like that, in the blink of an eye, it's 13-0. Texans, they want to eliminate the Colts very quickly, apparently. Dude, C.J. Stroud is just dotting them today. Kick is up. It is good. It is 14-0. Already 9:17. Only, less than 5 minutes and 43 seconds gone. 5 minutes and 43 seconds gone. 5 minutes and 43 seconds. It's 14-0 Texans. Oh, no. Plus, Justin Herbert might be a little bit hurt, obviously, with the broken hand. Was having some problem coming off there. Crafty in the chat said, what'd you call him, Justin Hertbert? We have ourselves a game here. Crafty in the chat saying, boy, these commentators are whispering like they're at the opera. You like it? Even look at this. Even my voice, I feel sick. I'm not feeling great, but you still got to go ahead. You got to get excited. You got to get excited for the team. Thank you so much for joining us here at Stay Tuned Sports, everybody. My name is King. I'm just a fat, goofy bastard here, commenting along and hanging out with you. That's all it is. Like I said, it's not like I noticed like other people were putting like when they do these, they call it like a play-by-play and reaction and stuff like that. I just put it along. It's a watch along and a hangout. We're watching along. We're hanging out. Yeah, I do a little bit of play-by-play to see what's going on, just so we all can kind of be on the same page here. But this is more of a hangout, like I think, than anything else. And that's how I try to keep it there. But again, thank you so much for joining us here. If you like any part of this, especially if you're a Texans fan, you got to really be loving this. Go ahead, hit that like button, share us around, hit that share button, let the world know that we exist. And of course, if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and to being monetized on this great and glorious platform known as YouTube. ELS in the chat says, my brother is celebrating having CJ Stroud in fantasy. He already has 40.2 points right now. I was going to say, anybody right now who's got CJ in their playoffs, doing pretty good. You're feeling pretty good about yourself right now. Paul in the chat, our resident Colts fan, says, I am definitely not excited right now. At least my season isn't going to come down to the last play. Maybe we'll see. Again, a lot of time. This is early. It's still early days. As we saw with the Cowboys against the Redskins, they were up 3 touchdowns super early and then almost gave that game away to the Redskins. So don't count your chickens before you fry them, or whatever the fuck they say. ELS in the chat giving us some news here. The Packers have elevated quarterback Clayton Tune and tight end Drake Dabney for today's Week 17 game versus the Baltimore Ravens. Again, a lot of injuries there with the Packers. Malik Willis will be starting. And obviously then, I guess, what's that? Clayton Tune will be the backup happening there. Can you name that Tune? Yes, his name is Clayton. Clayton! Crafty Southpaw in the chat. I like the part where I'm listening to someone other than Rich Eisen. I'm not saying that's I'm you know. Thank you for watching here on Stay Tuned Sports. Crafty says, yeah, Herbert did land right on that broken hand, but he's back in the game here. 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. This is going to be a handoff here. And Hampton's going to get 4 yards, but just gets tripped up. 2nd and 6 upcoming after that 4-yard gain. Hey, we had a bot. All right. Hey, buddy. Yeah, it's been a while since we had a bot in here. 2nd and 6. Going to be another handoff here to Omarion Hampton, and just can't get into that second level. He's only going to get about 3 yards on that. 3rd and 3 from the 33. Hey, look at that. That's nice and alliterative. Third and 3 from the 33. 33 coming up here for the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles. Paul in the chat says, I smelled fried Colts. Isn't it illegal to have horse meat now? Or is they only put that in dog food, right? Pass to the left side out of the backfield. Trey Harris catches that, and that's going to be good for about 8 yards. And that's going to be a first down. So the Chargers have gotten themselves a first down. They're at their own 41-yard line. They move the chains. Chargers looking to get right back into this game on this drive. They get a touchdown here. We got a game again. Crafty said, "Yeah, we've been getting bots for the last 2 years here. We're still not that big. We're still not that big. But it's always a good when you do see the bots. It actually does feel like it's a good sign. I don't know why. And what a tough run there from Omarion Hampton, kind of getting pushed by his offensive line, kept the legs moving, and he got himself 5 yards. Going to be 2nd and 5 from the 46. Irish says, I smell blood in the water. I'm sure the Texans do. You got to figure the last 2 drives ended with C.J. Stroud just flicking his wrist and just putting it on dimes to wide open receivers. Omarion Hampton gets absolutely lit up as he tries to hit the hole, and he gets denied like an ugly kid on prom night. 3rd and 5 upcoming here for the Chargers. R2D2, whatever the fuck his name is. Sorry, I'm trying to curse less. Just jamming up that hole and did not let Omarion Hampton get loose here. 3rd and 5. Herbert's in shotgun. Texans showing pressure. They don't. They back off. Herbert can't find anybody, and he's going to get sacked on a 3rd down again. And it's going to knock him all the way back to the 40-yard line, 4th and 11. Oh, no.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
And now with that, the Chargers are going to have to punt. And now this game can get really out of hand here really quickly. This game can really get out of hand here really quickly. You don't like this. If you're a Chargers fan, you don't like this. If you're a Colts fan, you don't like this. Punt is away for the Chargers. That's going to go all the way down to the 17-yard line. It's returned for a couple yards up to the 21. And with 5:01, hey, ELS Train Tuber 5:01. And there's 5:01 remaining here in the first quarter. The Texans 14, the Chargers nothing. And the Chargers have really not been able to get anything going. Meanwhile, the Texans. Is this the return of the Shrouds? Could be. We're going to see here because they are playing very well all of a sudden on the offense. Which has been the worry, I think. When you think about the Texans, is the defense? It's been fine. People are worried about the offense. Last week, they kind of let the Raiders move the ball on it a little bit, and the offense wasn't as good. And you're like, oh boy, if that defense starts to struggle with a struggling offense, are we too high on the Texans? Boy, if the Texans' defense plays like they're playing right now, and their offense, especially C.J. Stroud, plays like they're playing this game right now, again, they have to maintain that. They have to keep that consistency throughout the playoffs. But it's looking real good right now. ELS in the chat says, choo-choo! You can go check out my friend ELS Train Tuber 501. Check out his channel. That's the channel name. So it would be youtube.com/ELS Train Tuber 501. Go check him out. That's fine. Hey, we got another body boy in the chat. Hey, Clanker, what's up? Paul in the chat says, Texans are my Super Bowl pick versus the how could they be your Super Bowl pick versus the Chargers? For the same conference. They can't do that. Oh, versus the okay, you mixed up your LA teams. I got you, Paul. I got you. Yeah. That would be an interesting game. I think that would be a fun game. That Rams offense versus the Texans defense. That'd be interesting. That'd be a fun matchup. Crafty in the chat says, amazing how the AFC South went from seeming like one of the weakest divisions in the league at the start of the season is now to one of the scariest. Well, again, the Jaguars have to remain consistent. And again, that win over the Broncos was huge. Now you have to follow it up with a win. You can't backslide against the Colts. You have to go in. You have to go in there. You have to beat the Colts and Lucas Oil, and I think do so convincingly if you want to have that kind of momentum going into the playoffs. Plus, you want to keep that base ahead of the Texans here and win that division. Because I think if the Jaguars win tomorrow, they clinch the division. I think. I don't know. I don't know the exact tiebreakers or how they break down, but we'll see. Oh, by the way, here update on some of the bowl games happening. I don't know what bowl this is, but UConn is trailing Army 34-10. The Pop-Tart Bowl, because we saw this before, Georgia Tech came storming back. The Rambling Wreck now up 21-10 on BYU. Fresno State trailing Miami of Ohio 3-0 in an unnamed bowl. I don't know what bowls these are. Nobody cares about the bowl games anymore, especially me. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I mean, I'll fuck with the Pop-Tart Bowl. I'll fuck with the Pop-Tart Bowl. By the way, that was a 4-yard pass from Stroud. He got it to Knoll. A gain of about 4 yards. Here we come. 2nd and 6 upcoming now for the Texans. Stroud is under center here. This is going to be a handoff. Jordan gets the run here, and he goes for about 2 yards. That's going to lead to 3rd and 4 upcoming here. As we hit 4:02, 4:01, 4 minutes and counting here in the first quarter. You're watching along with your boy King here on Stay Tuned Sports with the Houston Texans taking on the Los Angeles Chargers 14-0. Currently the Texans lead as Stroud has been masterful in this first quarter so far. 3rd and 4. Stroud takes a snap in shotgun. Snap, throw, caught, and that's going to be good enough for a first down, 5-yard gain when they needed 4. Christian Kirk gets that reception. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. The bowl games are, okay, so the UConn Army game is the Fenway Bowl. Then obviously we do have the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And then the Arizona Snoop Dogg Bowl is Fresno State and Miami of Ohio. Handoff on 1st and 10. That's going to be a gain of a yard. That's going to be Chubb with the carry. Second and 9 from the 33-yard line for the Texans. Irish says, "I'm rooting so hard for the Colts." Yeah, of course you are, because you want to keep the pace there and have the chance for the division against the Jaguars. But I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Oh, C.J. Stroud with the first real miss of the game on that one. Threw it to nobody in particular there on the left side. 3rd and 9 coming up here for Houston. Irish says, "Everyone but the 2 players I have, Nico and Schulter." This is why you don't pick your own players for your fantasy team, Irish. It's why you don't do it. 3rd and 9. Play clock down to 2, down to 1. They get the snap off. Stroud gets pressured. He just throws it up. That should have been intentional grounding, I think. But either way, 4th and 9, and the Chargers defense finally gets a stop against the Houston Texans. Texans are going to have to punt the ball away here, with it being 4th and 9 from their own 33. Punt is away for the Texans, so the Chargers are going to get this ball. It is caught near the 11, returned to the 15, to the... Oh, he went sideways. He was going to get to the 20 or 21, but he decided to reestablish, go sideways, so that's going to knock him back to the 18-yard line. So the Chargers will take over on the road 18 when we come back. 2:04 remaining in the first quarter. Paul in the chat says the Colts will roll over 100% now that they are eliminated. They're not eliminated yet. There's a lot of... Paul, come here, bud. Come here. I know what it's like to be a disillusioned fan. I know what it's like to be disappointed. I know what it's like to have a little bit of that hopelessness, a little bit of that, hey, doesn't seem like anything's going our way. Doesn't seem we're playing right. I understand that. Look at me. I'm a Giants fan. I got it. Okay, but let's wrap here for a second. Just me and you. Everybody else, me and Paul are talking here. Don't give up hope, man. There's still time. You got to remember those 3 simple words. There's still time. As long as there's time. As long as there's an ability here. As long as you said this for the last couple of weeks. Chip in a chair. You know that. As a fellow poker player, I know that. Chip in a chair. Oh, it's all you need. That is all you need. So don't give up hope yet. Don't be pessimistic. Don't be pessimistic, Paul. Be positive, Paul. Don't think about how everything can go wrong or everything is going to go wrong. Think about, hey, how do we turn this around? How do we make this negative as it seems right now and make it a positive? That's all. Positive energy can change things, Paul. As we said, big momentum. Big Mo is a big part of things. You never know how things can change. So, chin up, stiff upper lip. Stay with it, Paul. Okay, everybody, you can come back in now. You can come join us. Irish in the chat is saying, nah, they're eliminated. He's like, nah, they're gone. Look, don't listen to him, Paul. Yeah, no, Texans are going to win this, and the Colts are eliminated. Don't even listen. Don't. Crouchy says, looks like the Texans just had an off day last week while looking ahead to this game. And I was going to say, we were going to see how they played in this game if last week was that case of them just kind of being like, it's the Raiders. Who cares? Let's look forward to some other stuff. And that's what happened. Or if it was a serious concern. Right now, as it stands, it looks like it's the former, not the latter. 2:04 remaining. Herbert takes the snap back. He's looking, just throws it to his safety valve. O'Marion Hampton out of the backfield. And that's going to be good for 6 yards. 2nd and 4 upcoming for the Chargers. Herbert can't find anything down the field in any sort of quick time. And so he's having to constantly either check down or start runs here. So we'll see. 2nd and 4. From the 24. Hampton gets, he's lucky if he gets a yard on that. I don't even know if they're going to give him that. It's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, one of these things. It's not a lot, not a great, not. They're going to officially say it's 0 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and 4 coming up here for the Chargers. We are under 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. 56, 55, 54 remaining here. Herbert in shotgun. Trips to the left. Takes the snap. Boy, it looks like somebody moved early, but no flag. Throws. Oh! That was Keenan Allen right in his hands on a crossing pattern, and he dropped it. It would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th and 4, and the Chargers are going to have to punt. Oh, what a forgettable first quarter for the Chargers. Oh, boy. Crafty in the chat says, please don't give your guy false hope here. I'm a Giants fan. The only hope we have is false hope. I'm a master of false hope. Actual hope? No idea what that is. False hope? I got you. Fair catch for the Texans on the punt. And they're going to take it at the 24. Do we have a flag down? Let's see. What do we got here? It's going to be our first flags of the game here. Holding on the Texans. The Texans were trying to say there was kick-catch interference, but the officials say no, only one foul on the play, and it was holding against the Texans. So that's going to knock it back to the 17-yard line, and that is where the Texans will go ahead and start this drive with 36 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Paul in the chat says, appreciate the effort, King. It's just extra frustrating with how we started. Yeah, I think that's the thing that is maybe bothering you more than anything, is that you guys started like 7-1, and it was looking like, oh my God, this is going to be the year, and then just all the injuries happened, the bottom fell out, and it's not been great for the Colts in these last 6-7 games. Just, you know, it's frustrating. I get that. And that often begs the question. You see this asked every now and then from one fan base to another, or from talk show hosts or something. And it's an interesting way to think about it. By the way, that was a 3-yard run there from Woody Marks. And that's going to make it 2nd and 7 for the Texans from the 20-yard line as we end the first quarter with the Texans leading the Chargers 14-0. Texans win. The Colts are eliminated. The Chargers win. They stay in the hunt for the AFC West Championship. So there's a lot on the line in this game. As we still got 3 quarters to go. We will see what happens here. I don't think it's one of the worst collapses in NFL. No, Paul. See, I don't think it's one of the worst collapses. When I think about worst collapses, I think about the Steelers. What was that, 2019, when they started 11-0 and then barely made it into the playoffs, and then had the doors blown off them by the Browns in the wild card round? That's a collapse. I think something similar happened with the Cardinals, and around that same time, it was like 2020 or 2018, something like that. I think it was like it was the second or third year that Kyler Murray was there, and they went like 11. They started like 10-1, 11-1, something like that, and then they collapsed and missed the playoffs completely. Like there have been worse collapses in the NFL. The Colts is not, and not only that, it's not a collapse of just like, oh my God, they played great and then they played like ass. It was, they played great and then everybody got hurt. Your quarterback's Achilles exploded after he was already playing with a broken leg. Your cornerback that you just went all in on and traded a couple of first-round picks for immediately got hurt. The person you thought you would have as a backup quarterback destroyed his orbital bone with a exercise band before one of the games, and now his entire career is in jeopardy. Like, it seems like it was fated by the football gods. I was like, the Colts were like, not yet, guys. Can't do it yet. Like, that's what it kind of feels like. Now, again, it is not over for the Colts. We've got 3 more quarters. There's still time. Relax. Still time, man. There is still time. Paul says, you're not making it any better. Listen, I'm not here to coddle you. I'm not going to sit there and say, boy, but it was, don't worry about it. You guys are great. No, I mean, yeah, it's a shitty hand you guys got, but Stroud throws on 2nd and 7. It's going to be tipped at the line, incomplete. 3rd down and 7 coming up here as we start the second quarter, 14:55. On the clock. Yeah, I'm not here to make it better. I'm here trying to provide you with like the reality of the situation is, yeah, it's bad, but it's not over. And so, Paul, I'll say this to you. Paul. If you had the option, would you rather just get the season over with, have it be done, miss the playoffs, and move on? Or would you like to get into the playoffs, get a playoff game in, whether you win or lose? Oh, right over the middle, that's going to be caught. Nico Collins, first down, 15-yard pass from Stroud to Collins, and that's going to move it up to the Houston 35-yard line, 1st and 10 Texans. Like, would you rather do that? Would you rather miss the playoffs altogether, or somehow, by a miracle, hook or by crook, you guys get that last wild card seed, and then, you know, let's be honest, probably lose in the first round of playoffs? Would you rather that? I mean, I think that's the question we have to look at here. Did I have to throw in the exercise strap? Well, I mean, Anthony Richardson was. I mean, he wasn't going to do anything anyway, you know, but 8-yard run by Jordan. He takes that up off the left tackle side there, and that's going to be a 2nd and 2. All the way up at the 43 right now. Stroud does a little fake play action and a pitch to Hutchinson, and Hutchinson, he's going to fight his way into Chargers territory. That's another 8-yard run, back-to-back 8-yard runs, and that's a first down for the Texans as they currently sit on the Chargers' 49-yard line. Hi, Pepper Jack. Oh, did the Instacart finally do our shopping? By the way, I'm never going to get a sponsorship deal from Instacart anyway, but boy, Instacart, eat a bag of shit, okay? I'm just going to put that out there. Anyway, 1st and 10, Stroud hands off here. That's going to be Jordan up the middle and gets absolutely nothing. 1st and 10 becomes 2nd and 10. Lloyd in the chat. Great to see you, Lloyd. Thank you for joining us here on this lovely football Saturday on Stay Tuned Sports. Lloyd says he's going to be here just flaying and deboning a salmon. Better than boning a salmon, I guess, you know. You'd rather be deboning than boning because then there'd be a lot of questions. 2nd and 10. Stroud in shotgun, takes the snap. He's going to throw out to Schultz. Schultz is going to fight for a couple more yards there. Whoa, and then Schultz does a push. We have a flop and we have a flag. And that might knock the Texans back a couple yards here. Breakfast for dinner is one of the best things, Paul. So you're cooking up some bacon and eggs for dinner? Ah, that's delicious. Still waiting on the call here. Come on, Mr. Official. Personal foul on Schultz. Unnecessary roughness. And that's going to be 15 yards and moves them back. Oh, yeah. No, that's great. That's good times. That's good time, Lloyd. I'm not going to say that out loud here, but if you're in the chat, you already see what Lloyd's talking about, and that's not great. Not in this Christmas season. So that knocks the ball all the way back since it was a dead ball foul. The down count, so it's 3rd and 17. Stroud floats the ball, and that's going to be good for about 4 or 5 yards to Woody Marks. But it's going to be nowhere near enough for a first down, and the Texans are going to have to punt the ball away. Crafty says, well, the Charger hit him when he was down. Yeah, but again, this is the rule I always try to teach my nephew, who's playing high school ball now and is actually very highly recruited, which is pretty awesome. When it comes to those kind of situations, learn from watching hockey, learn from anything else. They never get the perpetrator. They always get the retaliator. Their retaliation is always going to get the call, so don't do that. Let them get it for trying to initiate, for trying to be the instigator. Once you go back at them, guess who's getting a flag? Guess who's getting a penalty? Guess who's getting the yellow card or red card or anything like that? It's going to be you. Paul says the Texans do play dirty from time to time. Ira says, no, you don't. Aziz Al-Shair. Yeah. That's all I got to say. You're number 0. Yeah, that guy. Yes, you do play dirty. He's a piece of shit. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Fuck that guy. I'm trying to curse less, but fuck that guy. Aziz Al-Shair is one of the dirtiest bastards playing in the NFL. Absolutely, without question. No argument, nothing else to say about it. One of the dirtiest, one of the worst. So if he's on your team, you can't sit there and say like, oh, we don't play dirty. You have him on your team, you absolutely play dirty. Hey, we got another bot. Look at that. The bots are out on this Saturday, baby. Gotta love it. The voice box. The voice box is getting some work. Voice box getting some work. Irish says, we don't play dirty. I've said my piece on the matter. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna sit here and fight you. I'm just gonna say the visual evidence will speak for itself. We can go back and look at the videotape. As Warner Wolf used to always say here in the New York area when he used to do the CBS evening sports there on the 11 o'clock news, let's go to the videotape. That's all you got to do. Just take a look at the videotape, and that's all we got to do. That's fine. Oh, it's a good time here. It's a good time. I hope everybody had a great holiday season, by the way, Christmas season. Whatever it is that you are celebrating, Hanukkah, Christmas, Toyotathon, Honda, Happy Honda Days, whatever it is. I certainly hope that you're having a wonderful Christmas time. I certainly hope you had a wonderful time with your family, with your friends, even if, again, if it was just by yourself. Oftentimes, listen, during holiday season, being by yourself is not the worst thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? I know some people like to say that, and they like to push that kind of thing. It's like, nobody should be alone for the holidays. But having been around family and friends for certain holidays, sometimes it's like, sometimes that solitude ain't so bad. Crafty says, I love how every bot has its own set of emojis. It is kind of, it's like they, you know, it's their signature, man. It's their mark. It's what they have. So after the punt, it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Chargers at their own 8-yard line. Handoff here to Omarion Hampton. Omarion Hampton gets cracked right in the back. Taken down, and that's only going to be a gain of... they're only going to give him a yard. Oh, look at Dirty Boy McGee himself. Aziz Al-Shair is down. Crafty says, King cursed him. Hey, listen. I can't say I'm heartbroken. But Aziz Al-Shair down on the field, injured. Probably due to him trying to get a dirty hit in and then hurt himself. To be honest, that's exactly what happened on that play. Stop it, King. You're being biased. I'm not being biased. I'm being observational. Crafty says the King curse strikes again. Thank God there's not another, word with a, you didn't have to spell it with a K, the curse, by the way. And I'm glad there's not a third word that begins with a K there, because then you'd be... Irish says, good. We have another chance to get a sack or a turnover. To be fair, probably. I mean, let's face fact. I mean, the Texans' defense is good. And the Chargers have not shown any stick-to-itiveness, if you will, in this game so far. Any sort of forward momentum. So let's see here. Let me check on some of the other things going on here. Boy, Army is destroying UConn in a Fenway Bowl. Georgia Tech at halftime, they're still up 21-10 on BYU. In the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and Miami of Ohio has a 3-0 lead in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. And the only other bowl game, what do we have? New Mexico Bowl. This is North Texas versus San Diego State. Virginia versus Missouri in the Gator Bowl. Man, the Gator Bowl's really early this year. Well, Al-Shair is walking off the field by himself. Looks like it's grabbing his shoulder area. Kingers continues. Jesus Christ, Crafty. Yes, I do. Yes, Mortal Kombat. I do like. So I guess having the K for the combat. Yeah, I get it. I get it. 2nd and 9. Herbert throws. That's going to be incomplete. Almost intercepted. Good defense there. By what the hell? Peter. I name you Peter, and upon this rock I shall build my church. That was good defense there by Petre Dish. He's dishing. Irish says UConn still has a football team. Yeah, they just went up to the. I think they got it into the. They're in the American Conference now. I think so. They're getting better. 3rd and 9. Herbert back on his own goal line. Can't find anybody open. Looks, throws. Finally, he's able to complete it, but it's going to be short. It only gets up to about the 15-yard line. It's going to be 4th and 3. And again, the Chargers are going to have to punt. No offensive momentum at all for the Chargers in this game so far. Paul in the chat says, until recently, the town next to mine had a restaurant named the Coffee Cup Cafe. And in case you're wondering, the coffee is spelled with a capital K, the cup is spelled with a capital K, and the cafe is spelled with a capital K. Spelled exactly how it sounds and it looks, and the city finally made them change the name. It's just good branding, man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just branding. What do you mean? What are you talking about? There's a flag on the punt here. Holding on the Texans during the kick. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty at the end of the kick. And that's going to knock it back to some kind of yardage here. I think it's going to knock it all the way back to the 36. They had it up near midfield, but it's going to knock it back to the 36 for the Texans. ELS says, hey, we've got 17 people in the chat right now. Hope everybody's enjoying the stream. I certainly hope so as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching along with us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King, as we're watching the Houston Texans take on the Chargers on this Saturday afternoon football game. Right now, it's been all Texans this entire game. We're going to see what they do here on this possession. 9:40 remaining in the second quarter. Stroud is going to be under center, takes the snap, hand off to Woody Marks, and Woody Marks does a little hop, skip, and a jump, and it looks like he's going to get about 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up from the 41-yard line. Paul says, now it's called the Cup Cafe. There's no K's in it whatsoever. They had to be, though, if you got like a latte or something, they had to be real careful with how they did that whipped cream. Boy, that looks like a real pointy hood on that one. 2nd and 5. Stroud takes the snap. Boy, he's got all day to throw. Finally, can't find anybody open, throws it away. 3rd and 5 upcoming. Paul says, well, I do live in the Deep South. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that would make sense then, Paul. I'm surprised the place wasn't named Jim's Crow Cafe, to be honest with you. Connor McConnor in the chat says, I guess Herbert can't pass. Toast. Again, it's that whole offense seems to be struggling. He has the broken hand, so I don't know. The Chargers have no momentum right now whatsoever. Stroud is intercepted. Oh no! Disaster class for the Texans and Stroud. His first mistake of the game, and we've got ourselves an interception. So the Chargers have the first little tiniest bit of momentum on their side. Oh, wow.
Go Chargers, go!
Now, can the Chargers turn this into something good? They have a 1st and 10 inside Houston Texan territory for the first time in this game. Paul in the chat says, go Chargers, go, as he's our resident Colts fit. He needs the Chargers to win desperately. Herbert under center. Handoff here to Omarion Hampton. Hampton is going to duck and weave his way. He's going to get about 4 yards, 4 or 5. Depends on the spot. I'm usually wrong by about a yard. But no, this one they say 5 yards. 2nd and 5 from the 32. Upcoming for the Chargers. Irish says, oh, good. Our defense gets to go back out there. Irish sounded like a Ravens fan from 2000. Crafty says, that's it. I've seen enough. Time to put Davis Mills in. What are we doing? 2nd and 6. Oh, so they only gave him 4 yards. It's 2nd and 6. Herbert looks, throws to Hampton out of the backfield. He's got some room to run. Gets it to the 20. Gets it down to the 15-yard line. First down, Chargers. Hey, little bit of momentum. Little bit of momentum. All you need is a little bit of momentum, and you can never know what might happen here. Ball says, Irish, karma is still a thing, for your information. Peppa Jack says the same thing, but she thinks it's because it's a Taylor Swift album. So Taylor Swift, she was mentioned. Hi, Taylor. Nice to see you. I got to get like a New Year's picture of her up there. 1st and 10. It's going to be a quick little pitch out here. And that's going to be a 7-yard run there from Harris. Azeez Al-Shaair back on the field. He's the one who made the tackle, but we have another injured Texan on the field. Lassiter is down currently. And I don't know if that's he's looking at, what are they looking at? He's bending his left knee, so he seems to be in a little bit of pain. I don't think it's a cramp, clearly, because he was bending the knee. Can't beat a man with 2 first names, or 2 surnames. That's true, too. Why would you name your kid Davis? Like David Short, but Davis, yeah, that's more of a last name than it is anything else. Like it's weird. It's weird. I'll say. I agree with you, Crafty. I think it's weird. Not the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Not the weirdest name. I mean, watch. I mean, look at most of these other games. There's a lot of weirder names out there. Listen. We watch a league in which Lil Jordan Humphreys plays. We've seen weirder names. Irish says, I'm the appropriate amount of confident for what my defense is capable of. Uh-oh. Paul in the chat says the Texans, they pull fake injuries all the time to get a breather. I've seen it several times in the Colts games. I can't say anything about it because back in the day, my Giants did that all the time to the point where they actually – that's why we have the rule change now where if you have an injury, I think it's inside 2 minutes, they automatically take your timeout away. It's like it used to be, it's an injury timeout, so you don't lose a timeout. The Giants did that so often to break up games that would just go down. They said, all right, if you have an injured player at any point, doesn't matter, legitimate injury, not whatever, you have a player go down and they have to call an injury timeout, it's your timeout we're taking. And if it's not, then it's going to be a 10-second runoff or something like that. Like it was. So I have no room to speak on it. So we got Paul and Irish are about to go at it in here. We got a Texans fan and a Colts fan that just go like, your team is dirty. No, they're not. I'm not a chicken. You're a turkey. God, I love football. I love football, and I love the football fandom. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King, as we're watching along in this Saturday afternoon football game between the Texans and the Chargers. Still, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do the Packers-Ravens game tonight. Again, my old voice box, I got a little bit of a tickle. I got a little bit of a cough, a little bit of a cold happening right now. So I'm not sure if I'm 1,000% going to do tonight's game. But I wanted to get a game in today. I thought this might be the best one. It's been a little iffy so far, clearly, with the Texans kind of dominating at this point. But the Chargers got a real opportunity to get right back into this game. So let's see if they can finish off this drive. Can they get 6? I think 6 is an absolute mandatory. They may have to settle for 3, especially with this Texans defense. And I think if they do have to settle for 3, that is a Texans victory. But I think any points on the board for the Chargers you would rather get the 6 than the 3, but I think even if you have to settle for 3, just getting something on the board, being back into this game somewhat, a little bit, will help immensely. Irish is saying, I'm not going to go at it with Paul. I'm taking the high road, says Irish. Second and 3 coming up here for the Chargers. That's going to be a negative run. Loses about a yard. So it's going to be 3rd and 4 from the 9 here. We got another body boy in the chat. Great to see it. Thank you, bots, for joining us here, as along with everybody else. We have some clankers here, and we have some great, lovely people here. 17 people from the list I saw that ELS told us, so it's great. Third and 4. Herbert back. Looks. He's bouncing around. Can't find anybody. Looks, just throws it out of the back of the end zone. Incomplete. 4th and 4. And are the Chargers going to go for it? Does not look like it. Looks like they're going to go and take the points. So kind of like that same situation we talked about. Do you want to can you do it? Is it a victory? Is it a not? Do you want to get the points? Do you feel like you're being forced into maybe going for it on 4th down? But it doesn't look like Harbaugh is going to force the matter. He's going to go for the field goal. So, again, this was an opportunity for the Chargers to get right back into this game. Looks like it's not really what's going to happen here. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. So the Chargers do get on the board, and it is 14-3. The Texans lead over the Chargers. Chargers bring it to within 11. ELS says, if I say anything positive about my Packers, then they just shit the bed. So I'm just going to shut up. Paul in chat says, listen, I watched a guy fall down when we were in the red zone. He magically jumped right up after the clock was stopped. I'm going to have to get my PC fixed so I can have all the receipts and put them in the Discord. If you wouldn't mind looking at Exhibit A of your team being a bunch of shitbags. Now that we've all seen that, Exhibit B of your team being complete shitbags. Paul's going to, you got to put together a PowerPoint. You got to put the PowerPoint together. Have the presentation. The Chargers get the ball first in the second half, Paul. The Texans got the kickoff because the Chargers had won the toss. They elected to defer. Kickoff is away. That's going to land about the 5-yard line. Return to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. He's trying to turn the corner. Doesn't look like he's going to get there. Gets it. Out at about the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Texans from the 23-yard line. ELS says, looks like I'm going to get about 8 to 13 inches on Monday night. Oh, there you go, ELS. Get it, baby. He's talking about snow, ladies and gentlemen. Leave the man alone. He's talking about snow. We just got about 5 to 6 inches here in the northern New Jersey area, the Bayonne, Jersey City, Newark area. Handoff here on 1st down. 4-yard run for Jordan. Right up the middle. 2nd and 6 for the Texans, the Strouds, if you will. Given that moniker by YouTuber Tom Grassi. If anybody heard of him. Don't know if you heard of him. It's a small-time YouTuber. Almost has 1 million subscribers. You know. Small-time guy, you know. Paul says it's 68 in Florida. Yeah, but it's also Florida. So... Well, Jordan right up the middle. That's going to be a big-time run. 10 yards. First down. Gets them all the way down to the 37-yard line. 5:15 and counting remaining here in the second quarter. And I'm not, listen, the only thing, I can't, I'm a northern boy. I can't do the heat. I can't do the bugs. I can't do the lizards. I can't do the spiders. I just can't do it. And I bring up every now and then when we start talking about this. Back when I was first married with my ex-wife, I had gone down to South Carolina to see her family in South Carolina in the middle of August. That convinced me more than anything, never. I would never live below the Mason-Dixon line, ever, in my life, not doing it. I would rather be in a cold. Why do you want to live where the air hurts your face? So that I don't have to deal with fucking mosquitoes and bugs and fucking alligators and pythons and lizards and spiders the size of your head. And yeah, no thank you. No thank you. No thank you. I can't do it. I'm a northern boy. I sweat when it's 20 degrees out. Like it's 24 degrees out now. I sweat. 2nd and 12 after a 2-yard loss on 1st down. That's going to be caught by Noel. He's got a touchdown pass already today. That's good for 8 yards. Going to make it 3rd and 4 for the Texans. Looking to go ahead and keep the chains moving, keep the clock moving, and see if they can add to this lead they have. We're going to see what they can do here on 3rd and 4. ELS says, I would live in Alaska. I want to live in Alaska. Pepperjack has been a little iffy on that particular thought, but... Oh! Khalil Mack had a straight open line on C.J. Stroud. Stroud just throws that up. It's going to be incomplete. 4th and 4. Nobody decided to block Khalil Mack coming off the end. And C.J. Stroud saw God for a moment. Oh, my God. And that's going to be 4th down. And the Texans are going to punt the ball away. Lloyd says King would not love visiting. No, Australia is automatically a no. I wouldn't. No. Australia is no. No, never, no, no. Never, never, never. I will never go to Australia. I think, hey, Pepperjack, you ever going to Australia? Exactly. Pepperjack says, no, not a chance. There wasn't a hesitation. There wasn't a moment of, well, maybe. No, Australia is completely verboten, off the list. Fuck Australia. I'm trying to curse less, but. Yes, dude, there's just so much just gross stuff in the Carolinas and in Florida and Georgia and Bama and Mississippi, down into Bayou, Louisiana, and Bayou, Texas, and the Houston area. No. No. I have nothing to do with it. No. My brother lives down in like real South Texas, like near like McAllen. I think he lives down there, and like he shows me sometimes like, oh, it's 104. But it's like, yeah, no. Whoa, big pass on 1st and 10, 16 yards. That's going to be caught there by Quentin Johnson, and that's going to be a first down. Chargers move the ball to the 29-yard line. They had started on their 13 after the punt. No, Lord, I don't want to go where the cannibals are. That was what the fuck was that? I don't know what that was, but it's a 5-yard loss is what it ends up being. It was a little pitch there to O'Marion Hampton in the backfield, and that was if you saw what I saw, you're as confused as I am, because I don't even know how to describe whatever the hell that was. So now it's 2nd and 15. And the Chargers are not going to put another snap off. They are going to go to the 2-minute warning. They have 2nd and 15 now from their own 24-yard line. And they got 2 minutes to see if they get any more points here before the end of the first half. Texans 14, Chargers 3. 2-minute warning right here on Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name is King. If you want to help us out at all, please go ahead. You can hit that like button, hit that share button, let the world know that we exist. That would be a big help. And, of course, if you're here for the first time, pardon me, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and hopefully being monetized on this great and glorious platform known as YouTube. ELS says, Wisconsin is nice. At minimum, your balls will never sweat. Your balls will never sweat so bad that it makes you hate yourself. Yeah, the Turkish taffy balls is a thing. But, listen, like I said, that's summertime, and sometimes you get those little heat waves, like those 90-degree, 95-degree days in the middle of June, July, August, that time. But for the most part, like I said, like your New Jerseys, your Pennsylvanias, like, again, I wouldn't mind. Like, I honestly would really love to live in, like, New Hampshire. Like, that would be my if I could, I'd live in New Hampshire. I think that would be a wonderful place. No state income tax. Live free or die. Very, very libertarian kind of state. Very cool. I like that. Not like the communist Vermont next door. Those Vermont commies. No, I think like that would. I think that's weather-wise, because I don't mind the snow. Like, I don't mind shoveling snow. I don't mind walking in snow. I don't mind the cold. I in fact kind of like the cold. That's just, again, kind of my thing. I sweat breathing, so that's probably why I'm a bit of a furnace as a human being. So I like it. I don't mind it at all. And now the chat is just talking about Michael Rockefeller and whether or not he was cannibalized or if he just was absorbed into the tribe there in Papua New Guinea. There are a lot of documentaries about him. So Ira says, hey, listen, you can't do those kind of plays that the Chargers just tried to do against this defense. We're just too fast. We're just too good. You can't do that against these boys. You can't do that against these boys. Well, you think this is a game, son? Actually, it is a game. It's football. But 2nd and 15 for the Chargers coming out of the 2-minute warning. Herbert's in shotgun. Takes the snap. Got time to throw. Now he's going to pull it down and run. Gets knocked out of bounds. Got a little bit of pushing and shoving because of how Herbert was treated. Going out of bounds, only a 2-yard gain. That's a bit of a, again, he was going out of bounds. There wasn't a need to hit him since he was going sideways. But the Texans wanted to try to do a little bit of a dirty. Paul says, I miss the cold, but my job is swimming pools for 22 years, so I don't think I'm going to switch careers right now. I'm 10 summers away from retirement, so I guess, yeah, man. Herbert on 3rd and 13. Deep ball. First deep shot. He's got somebody open. It's caught. Oh, he's just tackled at the 15-yard line. What a hell of a play. 60 yards in the air, Herbert, to Quentin Johnson. Down to the Texans' 14-yard line. 1st and 10 Chargers. Oh, buddy. The Chargers finally with their first explosive play of the game. And Smith just got enough of the feet to trip him up and prevent the touchdown. 1st and 10. Herbert throws over, tipped in the air and intercepted. Oh, no. The Chargers were right there, had a chance to immediately get right back in this game before they get the ball in the second half. Tipped up into the air and then intercepted by Azeez Al-Shaair. And it's a 1st down and 10 for the Texans from their own 1-yard line. Oh, no. Irish in the chat excited, says, let's effing go. Paul says, no! Paul says, I give up. This is hopeless. Don't do that. Don't make me be the voice of positivity. I'm never positive. But now here we go. 1:06 remaining in the second quarter. Herbert shaking his head on the sidelines. 1st and 10 from their own 1. Stroud is going to just do a quarterback sneak up the middle. And that's going to be 2-yard gains. 2nd and 8 upcoming from the 3. Chargers take a timeout. Try to save some time here. Unbelievable. Sometimes it just is. It is what it is. By who intercepted it? Yeah, Azeez Al-Shaair, the very, very dirty player that you have on your roster. It's just an objective fact here, Irish. Like, I'm not even trying to argue. Like, I'm not arguing with you. The guy's a dirty player. He's been a dirty player forever in his entire time in the league. Second and 8 coming up here for the Texans. Stroud hands it off here to Woody Marks, and he's going to bust it loose to the 15, to the 20, down to the 23-yard line, 22, somewhere around there. That's going to be a 1st down for the Texans, 19-yard run for Woody Marks. And that is going to be down. We have an injured Texan down on the play. Ed Ingram, the guard for the Houston Texans, currently down on the field, but they are going to have 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. So there she goes. We get to see her first, finally. Irish in the chat says, Azeez Al-Shaair, he's a saint. I don't know what he's doing. He's a saint. He's a saint. You take your name out of his mouth, he's a saint. Paul says, what horrible luck. Not going to get very many chances against this dirty. Oh, Paul's leaning all into it now. This dirty-ass defense. Paul says, the Jets have my 1st-round pick for the next 2 years. Yeah. That's the shame. Again, you try to, you're like, hey, let's go all in. Let's see what we can do here. And instead of getting, you thought that it would be something to really go all in with and help your team. And instead, you guys, I think they said you guys are 1-5 now since the trade deadline. Since you got him, plus he's been injured for all but one or two. It's just it has not gone well for the Colts. It just, again, it's been very bad luck all year. Once you reach the halfway point of the season, it's been bad luck all the way down. There's just nothing else. There's no other way to say it. And that's the other thing too. Like ask anybody right now, would you rather be a Colts fan or would you rather be a Jets fan based on how you feel the future's going to be? 99.999% of the people are going to say, for the shoe. Nobody's loving or wanting to be a Jet fan. Not even Jet fans. 1-6. Okay. So not great. Again, not great. 52 seconds remaining. Stroud takes the snap, looks, throws, incomplete. He was looking for Schultz on that play. So it still remains 2nd and 10. So here we go. 2nd and 10 from the 22. Stroud back, looks, throws, and that's intercepted. The Chargers intercept the ball now, and now they have it again in Texans territory. Holy shit. What the hell is going on here? What the hell's going on out there? So with 45 seconds left, the Chargers are back in business. Now, will they immediately throw an interception? That remains to be seen. We got to. So Stroud with 2 touchdowns, but now 2 picks here in the game. Paul in the chat says Stroud sucks. I'm not going to say that. Watching those 2 dots that he threw earlier, I'm not saying Stroud sucks in any way, shape, or form. But these 2 passes as he had, you can't make those throws. So now 1st and 10 from the Texans 32. They have 2 timeouts to the Chargers. Taking the snap is Herbert. Back, looks, throws. That's going to be caught to the 21. That's going to be a 1st down for the Chargers, and he's out of bounds. Stops the clock. 40 seconds. Paul says, I'm changing my Super Bowl pick to the Bills. I was all about that defense on that, but you know what? Fuck the Texans. I'm going to pick the Bills. By the way, if you want to join the chat, chat's open. Come in, say hi, say hello, say how you're doing. Make sure you hit live chat instead of top chat so you can see everybody in the chat giving us a nice little conversation. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports for the Texans versus Chargers. Herbert getting rushed. Can't get the ball away, and then takes a massive sack, and we've got a flag down now, too. What's this? Is this going to be what's the penalty? Oh, tripping on the Texans negates the sack. It's going to be half the distance to the goal and makes it 1st and 10 from the 11. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, he kicked his foot out. Oh. So he tripped Herbert on the set. Can't do that. Can't do that. I don't think that. No, that's not a sympathy flag. Like, that's a legitimate flag. Like, you call tripping all the time. And he kicked his leg out to trip Herbert. That's true. So now 1st and 10 from the 11 Herbert trying to escape pressure again, and now he fumbles the ball. And he jumps on it back at the 19, and that's going to have to be a timeout used from the Chargers. They have one timeout remaining. Boy, the Chargers are they're just screwing up all these opportunities. This is just a comedy of errors at this point. Jesus Christ, for everybody. Paul says, dirty-ass Texans cheating again. Irish in the chat, our resident Texan fan says, to be fair, Stroud is kind of mid. Crafty says, Herbert has been Herberting, but Stroud currently is Strouding. So now, 2nd and 17. Oh, yes, technically that was a sack, so.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
2nd and 17 coming up here. After that loss of a lot, Herbert back, looks, throws. It's going to be caught, gain of 3 yards, out of bounds, stops the clock, 19 seconds remaining. And that's going to make it 3rd and 14 from the Texans' 15. No, they didn't stop the clock. They said he went out backwards, so it was going to keep the clock running. Now the Chargers are out of timeouts. Ooh, that's big. That's big, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Quentin Johnson hurt his hand on that play as well. I think so, Crafty. I think it's 3 official sacks on Herbert. So here we go. 19 seconds left. No timeouts for the Chargers. 3rd and 14 from the 15-yard line. Herbert back. He looks, throws. It's going to be caught, and then just immediately goes out of bounds for a gain of a yard. 4th and 13. And the Chargers are going to have to kick. And so the Chargers are actually going to settle for a field goal here, which again puts them 8 points down, which is still a possession ready to go here. So let's see. Dicker, the kicker, from the right hash mark. Snap, hold, kick is up, and that is no good. That is no good. Wide right. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. I don't know how much more you can just how. To be fair, if the Chargers didn't keep on screwing up, they'd be winning this game right now. As bad as it started off, if the Chargers didn't keep on continually fucking up, this game would be tied right now. I know I'm trying to curse less, but the Texans just kneel on the ball to bring it to halftime. Holy but Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached halftime of what has been one of the sloppiest of sloppy games I think I've ever watched a first half of. Maybe until tomorrow when I have to watch Giants and Raiders here, which will be fun. Yeah, who's going to watch the Tank Bowl with me? Anybody watching the Tank Bowl with me? That'll be a fun one tomorrow at 4 o'clock. But here we are at halftime. The Texans 14, the Chargers 3. Paul says Chargers are done. Crafty says Chargers looking like they're at a loss too. Paul says halftime break, dirty Texans. Dicker dicks that kick. Got Crafty. I love Crafty. Crafty is our residential dad joke creator, and he's just the best. We love him. We love Crafty here. Crafty says, I'm going to be here for that Giants Raiders game. So does Craig. that's going to be. Thank you. I'm probably going to need some emotional support for that game. I'm going to be honest with you. Just having to watch. Not only do I have to watch the Giants, which I've been doing every week all year, which is enough of a torture, but now I have to actually watch the Raiders again. And I don't want to. And now I got to watch the Giants and the Raiders in the same game. Oh, dear sweet Lord. Paul says, I don't have any games I care about. Yeah, well, the Jaguars are playing at the 1 o'clock game. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do a 1 o'clock game tomorrow. And again, I'm not sure if I'm doing tonight's game either, based on the fact that I'm already you feel like the glass needles in the voice box here. You know, it's like, oh my God. I'm going to see. I might make another little cup of coffee. Coffee's not going to help your throat, but I don't drink tea, so eat shit. The Replacements Bowl. It's going to be something. But watch it end up being like an entertaining game. Watch it be just a wild fucking out there game. Giants and Raiders. That would be funny. It's just like we have half the guys out. We don't know what the hell we're doing. Let's just throw shit at the wall and see what happens. That would kind of be fun to see. Crafty said that. He says the way this season has been, Giants Raiders will probably end up being like 41-38 shootout. Yeah. Irish says, hey, Texans aren't dirty. Keep on telling yourself that. I'm not saying all the Texans are dirty. But you do have Aziz Al-Shaair on your team, and that's enough to put the dirty stank up on you guys. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. That's just how it is. All right, let me go ahead and see if I'm going to take a nice little drink break here. I might make some coffee. Maybe I'll make a nice beverage here because my sister-in-law, the lovely, the beautiful Robin, for Christmas, even though I tell them every year, don't buy me a gift. I'm not a guy who enjoys gifts. Don't buy me gifts. Don't buy me gifts. Don't buy me gifts. For yet another year, she bought me a bottle of Jägermeister, and who am I to deny Jägermeister from my wonderful, beautiful sister-in-law, Robin? So maybe I'll make a drink from that. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll be right back here for the second half when that starts here. Texans 14, Chargers 3. This is Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much for watching us, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to, hit that like button, hit that share button, let the world know we exist. And if you're brand new here, please hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and hopefully being monetized here on this great and wonderful platform known as YouTube. Be right back. Okay, sorry. Hey, we're a little late. Not that late. The game it hasn't started quite yet, but we are back here getting ready for the start of the third quarter. Instacart came, so I had to start putting some stuff away. Now Pepper Jack here is finishing it up, and then I'll have to, I have to reorganize stuff because I got a touch of the tism. I think we all understand that. Undiagnosed, but I'm pretty sure. So we'll do all that later. But hey, made it back just for the kickoff here. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Chargers on a touchback from the 35-yard line. Great to see you, Lloyd. Thank you for coming back here with us. Paul in the chat says, I'm not watching my Colts game unless the Chargers pull off a miracle here. I'm tired of watching them. Paul, again, in that case, I really don't have sympathy for you because I watch the Giants every week. So don't be a bitch. 1st and 10 for the Chargers. Herbert looking to throw. He's going to pull it down and run it himself with a broken hand. Slides down for a gain of 7 yards. 2nd and 3 coming up from the 42-yard line. Is that all good, Pep? All right. We got nanners. We got coffee. I got Mountain Dew. You can leave the Mountain Dew out for now. I'll figure it out how to do it because I got the smaller ones in there. So I can do all that. I think we got everything set. That's pretty good. 2nd and 3, Herbert. Going to be a handoff to Marion Hampton. That's going to be a loss of a yard. Jesus, they just cannot get that momentum going in that Texans defense. Every time it seems like you get a little something from them. That Texas defense clamps down once again like a pit bull on a 4-year-old's leg. 3rd down and 4. Irish in the chat says, don't worry about it. I'll watch the Colts for you, Paul. I love rivalries. It's one of the great things. It's why me and Jimbo did this for so long together. Third and 4, Herbert throws. It's caught and then fumbled out. They're going to say incomplete. I thought he had it. It was Gadsden out of the backfield. Oh, no, it wasn't Gadsden. Oh, no, that was a Rondé Gadsden. Sorry. And they're going to say that it was indeed not a catch. I thought it might have been a catch and fumble, but they say no. So 3 and out for the Chargers. After getting 7 yards on 1st down, they cannot do anything else. And that's going to be caught at the 15-yard line. Fair caught. 1st and 10 for the Texans from the 15. 13:25 remaining here in the third quarter. You are watching Stay Tuned Sports, and your boy King hanging out with you here, watching the Texans and the Chargers. Thank you so very much for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon. Again, if you like anything about this particular channel, this particular show, or me, my beautiful, just lovely face. I mean, look at this guy. Handsome. So handsome. Anything about it, please hit that like button, hit that share button, let the world know that we exist here. And, of course, if this is your first time here or you just haven't done it yet, please hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. 1st and 10. Hand off here to Jordan. And that's going to be a gain of nothing or a loss of a yard. That looks more like a loss of a yard, but they're going to mark him as just not getting back to the line of scrimmage. Second and 10. Stroud steps back, looks, throws to Schultz out of the backfield. He's got some blocks and he's got some room. It's going to be a 1st down and more down at about the 29. There was a fumble. Oh, I thought okay, hold on. Yeah, that was punched out. I thought he was still going. Holy shit. And the ball gets punched out, and it just rolls out of bounds. Oh, man. If that stayed in bounds, that's Charger ball, but it just rolled out of bounds. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. So 3rd and 4 because of the fumble. Thrown, almost intercepted. Stroud threw it right into my man's guts there. Almost with the interception. And that's going to be 4th and 4. So what looked like might have been a first down instead was a fumble, but just barely went out of bounds. Left them with a 3rd and 6 for the Texans, and then a near interception, which would have been huge for the Chargers. But instead, 4th and 4, Texans are going to have to punt. So we start with back-to-back 3-and-outs here to start the second half. And that punt is away. Townsend sends this way to hell back. It's going to be returned. We're just going sideways here. 25 and gets it up to about the 29-yard line. 11:46 remaining now in the third quarter. Texans 14, Chargers 3. And they're going to go hit a commercial. So now I might actually go make my drink since I actually have time to do it since the Instacart came. So let me go ahead and quickly do that. All right, now we're back. Irish in the chat says Stroud looks like crap since the start of the second quarter. Stroud threw 2 touchdowns and then told the defense, I'm going to head out. What's that, Bubba? One bag, yeah, we got one. We need more. We got New Year's coming. Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Chargers. Go, Chargers, go. Herbert takes a snap. Again, he can't find anybody, and that's going to be going down for Justin Herbert. And he just gets it. I mean, just he's not having much time.
Too bad your ass got sad.
He's not finding anybody open. No, I'm stuck on the set. I'm trying to get. Why is my ice stuck to the bottom of my glass here? There we go. Ice. I don't want my ice stuck. There we go. Much better. 2nd and 15. After that sack, and Herbert's going to get sacked again. Jesus, mother lover.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
And that's going to make it 3rd and 22. Now for the Chargers all the way back at their 18-yard line. Paul says the Chargers' offensive line is crap. Well, they're all injured to shit. So, I mean, to be fair. To be fair. Marion Hampton gets it up to the 25-yard line, and that's going to make it 4th and 15. And that's going to be another 3 and out. Again, if you look at the missed opportunities the Chargers had in the first half, they could be very well leading this game. Irish says, hey, King, keep your finger on that sack button. Yep. I often keep my fingers on my sack, but who doesn't? Who doesn't? Ooh, that punt, that was a shankalon. What the? Oh, boy. It's just none of it's going great. None of this is going great. That was a punt of, get ready for it, 22 yards. Oh, no. And it all goes out at the Chargers' 47-yard line. Oh, it is just a disaster class for the Chargers. Again, the Texans, outside of those 2 touchdown plays that Stroud had early on, which looked great, it looked like, boy, Texans are running like a well-oiled machine. Since then, it has not been great for the Texans' offense. But the Chargers just, they can't get anything going, and when they get opportunities and get breaks that come their way, they can't seem to take advantage of it, and they're paying the price right now, man. They are paying the price. With those 2 straight sacks, we had 3 in the first half, so I would say roughly about 5 sacks already now, Crafty, yeah. Irish says, we need a score on this drive. I must have missed it. Yeah, I didn't see there was a graphic on their channel on NFL Network. I missed that. I didn't know. Choppa City in the chat says, I'm going to be brutally honest. I would expect nothing less, Choppa. And I would want you to be nothing else but brutally honest. I think Shedeur Sanders better than C.J. Stroud and Justin Herbert. That is brutally honest. That is brutally honest. If I may also be brutally honest, I think you need to stop smoking crack. I'm joking. I love Chopper. Thank you so much for joining us here. Again, I've said this many times when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. I think he is a fantastic pocket passer. I think he's extremely accurate. I think he's a great pocket passer. His biggest problem, and something it seems like he 100% refuses to work on, is getting rid of the ball and not taking huge sacks. Like he seems to always want to try to extend the play or run a play, and he's not that great of a running quarterback. He's not that athletic of a quarterback, that you would think of. Like, he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen. He's not that kind of quarterback. He needs to learn to throw the ball away. He needs to learn that, listen, sometimes an incompletion is better than a 15, 20-yard sack because you're running all the way. Like, he tries to always force balls in there, which, again, forces interceptions. He needs to play within himself. If he's able to do that, I think he can be a very good, very successful NFL quarterback. But he needs to work on that. He needs to be coachable, and I don't know if he is. So that's something that he's going to have to prove everybody wrong on. So I think there's a lot of, and that's the other thing. I don't want to see people give up on him. I don't want to see people give up on Shedeur. I don't want to see people give up on Dylan Gabriel either. I don't like seeing people give up on young quarterbacks. I don't like it. Woody Marks with a 4-yard run there on first down gets it up to the 40. Oh, they started at 47. They're at the 43 now. Choppa, I don't think that the Falcons are going to get rid of Penix. I think they're comfortable with Penix as their quarterback moving forward, and we'll see who they get as the next coach, and I think we'll go with there, but I think they're fine with Penix. Stroud rolls out to his right. Looks, throws. That's going to be caught by Collins. He stays in bounds. Breaks the tackle. Still stays in bounds. And where are they going to mark him out? They're going to mark him out at the 20-yard line. 23-yard pass to Nico Collins. First down. Crafty says, never judge a quarterback by his rookie year, one way or another. I agree, and I think we've seen it enough with C.J. Stroud, with Jaden Daniels, with some of these other guys who had great ones, and we've seen it with some of the other quarterbacks like Sam Darnold. And, I mean, if you saw what Mac Jones did this year out in San Francisco, we got an end-around play here. That's going to be a big gain, but we've got a flag down. It looks like it's in the area of holding, and it looks like that is going to be coming back. Indeed, holding on the Texans. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty. Moving back. They're going to say it is from the spot of the foul, so that's going to mark it as a 1st and 18 back at the 28-yard line. That's a loss of a yard. That's going to make it 2nd and 19. After that, Woody Marks runs for a loss. Choppa City in the chat says, Shador reminds me of Tom Brady so much. Nah. Stroud throws out of the backfield. That's going to be a loss again. Oh, my. And now they're sitting at a 3rd and 23. Are the Texans. So they're just going backwards here after they had got down to the 20-yard line. Lloyd says, I just ate my dinner, and that helped with an upset stomach. I was feeling really bad today, and I finally had a cup of coffee and some breakfast late, like more like a brunch than anything. And that made me feel a little bit better enough to kind of do this game here today. So Stroud throws here on 3rd and 23. That is going to be caught by Hutchinson. That's going to be good for 10 yards, but still going to be 4th and 13. And the Texans look like they're going to settle for a field goal here. Paul says, time for a pick. Irish says, just run the back and take the field goal. It looks like that's what the Texans are going to do here. 41-yard attempt for Fairbairn. Snap, hold, kick is up, and that is listing to the left, but just makes it in. Field goal is good, 17-3. The Texans lead over the Chargers. 6:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter here on this NFL Saturday afternoon game. Thank you so much for joining us here. My name is King here on Stay Tuned Sports. If you like any part of this broadcast, please hit that like button. Hit that share button. Let the world know that we exist. That is a huge help, obviously. And, of course, if you haven't been here before and haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and being monetized here on a great and glorious platform known as YouTube. Paul in the chat says, time is running out. Not looking good for the Chargers. I mean, yeah, down 2 touchdowns, 2 full touchdowns, 14 points right now with 6:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter and not having been able to do anything in this game as of yet. It does not look promising if I'm a Chargers fan. And obviously, if you're a Colts fan like Paul, not looking great. It is not looking great right now. You are teetering on the edge of elimination, which my Giants have been there for about 10 fucking weeks. So I'm trying to curse less, but by the way, here is my beverage. Thank you very much, Robin, for the Jägermeister gift. Stop buying me Christmas gifts, but thank you. Lloyd says, hey, Paul, stranger things have happened. See? You're tired of, it's a branded tie-in, Lloyd. I like what you're doing out there. But it's just like a situation where Anthony Richardson's going to sit everybody down and have a 10-minute winded conversation about how he's gay or something, or I don't understand. Outside of that, there's like weird, absolutely non sequitur part of Stranger Things. I've enjoyed this last season they're doing. I think there's a lot of cool shit going on. I love Stranger Things. I do. I think anybody who's watched the show is great. But boy, that one part in the last episode there where he's just like, all right, guys, we're fighting physics. We're fighting wormholes and other planets and Vecna, and we're fighting all these things. But first, let me sit down for 10 minutes and go on a diatribe about how I like dick. Like, there's a lot more other shit going on. Yes, I'm in live chat, Lloyd. I'm in live chat. Whoa, there we go. And on the kickoff, Patterson does a decent return, but only gets it up to the 36, so about the same as a touchback. Paul says, I haven't watched this last season. It's good. I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. I'll say that. We all did. Like, Lloyd, like, again, when you watch the show, it's like we all know it. We've all known it, and I think anybody who, like in show, anybody around looking at it probably knew it. Like, it's not, it was just a very out of place scene is all I'm saying. Like, we know it. Like, everybody's accepted that. Everybody's known that pretty much from the start. Herbert on 1st and 10 tries to run and scramble again. This time he only gets about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 coming up. Like, it was an extraneous scene. It wasn't a scene that we needed. It seems like it was a scene that was put in there. I don't know why it was put in there. Like, you're gonna, like, to hit everybody over the head with a hammer. Like, it was so out of place. Like even obviously people who are big supporters of the LGBTQ community came out and said that seemed odd. It just seemed out of place. It seemed weird. And I should keep my finger on the button there. I really should.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
But here's the thing, and I'll say that, we got a flag on a sack. Hold on, may not be a sack. So it was offsides. It was lined up in the neutral zone there on the Texans. Oh, no, he jumped early. So it's not a sack. It's a penalty, 5 yards, but Justin Herbert still gets absolutely rocked on the play, so. And but here's the thing, like, the rest of the show is great. It's a good show to watch. It's fine. I've enjoyed the season, but like I said, it was just really honestly that one scene, man, that is just, it seemed super out of place. 2nd and 3 after the penalty, and that's going to be a gain of no yards for Omarion Hampton. Again, the Chargers can get nothing going against this Texans defense. And that's it. I'm not sitting on one side or the other. I'm not saying that one thing politically or not. I'm not going to jump into that whole conversation. I'm not. I'm just saying, as just speaking narratively, it was fucking weird. 3rd and 3. Herbert steps back. Now he steps up. Now he looks and throws, and that's actually going to be caught by Keenan Allen this time on 3rd down. Doesn't drop the ball that time. 1st and 10. Chargers get into Houston Texans territory. Down to the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 Chargers. Oh, Herbert going. Big ball down the field. No. Does a bit of a bow overthrow. Looking for Quentin Johnson. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. Paul in the chat says, if I may be so blunt.
Go Chargers, go!
Says, come on, get back in this thing. We'll see. 2nd and 10. Fumble on the snap. Herbert has to cover the ball, and it looks like he hurt his hand in doing so. And that's going to knock it back to 3rd and 14. They just can't get out of their way. Just a bad exchange. I don't know if that was supposed to be like a RPO here or and it just a bad exchange. And so now it's 3rd and 14 for the Chargers. Herbert back. Now he's going to step up, and he goes, and that's going to be good. Oh, God, to the 20, down to the 16-yard line, 28-yard run by Herbert. 1st down, Chargers. Look at Crafty trying to be. Look at Crafty being a little bastard. So now it's 1st and 10 for the Chargers down at the Houston 16-yard line. Oh, not good for Houston. Stingley is down on the play. He's down on the field. He's being attended to. You don't want to see Derek Stingley on the ground if you're a Texans fan. Like Irish, who is our resident Texas fan. Irish Panic here in the chat. If you want to join us in the chat, come in, say hi, say hello, say how you doing. Chat is open. Make sure if you're in the chat, make sure you click on live chat and not top chat so you can see everybody's comments in there. Oh, man, Herbert having the arm out there with the broken hand. Still taking hit. Like, man, tough guy. That's a tough guy. Paul says, 1st down, good guys. Herbert out of the backfield. He's going to throw it here to Hampton. Hampton's going to get 4 or 5 yards on that play. They're going to mark it at about 4 yards. So 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 coming up from the 12-yard line. Paul says, that's not good. You hate seeing all the good players getting hurt all season, even if he is a dirty, dirty Texan. You dirty, dirty man. Now, Stingley's all right. I don't have a problem with Stingley. Like I said, really the only truly dirty player on the Texans is Azeez Al-Shaair. So here we go. 2nd, and they're going to mark it as 7. It's 2nd and 6. I don't know what they're talking about here. Herbert throws towards the end zone. Almost intercepted. Incomplete. 3rd and 6 now upcoming here. Herbert Oh, my God. He was going to get sacked again, but he completes it down to the 5. We got a flag down, though. What is this? Holding on the Texans. That penalty's declined. 1st and goal for the Chargers. It looked like the Texans were going to get another sack on Herbert. He's able to stand up while getting grabbed on, is able to complete it for the 1st down, and it's 1st and goal from they're gonna. I thought it was the 5. They're gonna mark him down at the 4. 1st and goal from the 4. Herbert hands off to Hampton. Hampton down to the 1 as we're under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Second and goal from the 1. Second and goal from the 1. Herbert under center. Tackle eligible in motion. Herbert rolls, looks, goes, touchdown! Oronde Gadsden for the touchdown for the Chargers, and they finally score a touchdown with 13 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Go Chargers, go!
Took them long enough. Jesus. And now the Chargers are an extra point away from making this a 1-touchdown game. Crafty says the Chargers are trying to win it for Rivers, man. Do it for Johnny. Snap. Low snap. Hold. Dicker gets it through. The quicker Dicker kicker gets it in there. Slides it in. And that's going to be 17-10. 13 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. We've got a good 4th quarter coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Close game here at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, where the Texans lead 17-10 over the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles. I certainly hope that you are enjoying this game along with all of us here at Stay Tuned Sports, the community in the chat. You're watching at home, whatever it is you're doing, listening to my fat dumbass comment along here with you, just hanging out with you, enjoying this fun time here. If you like any part of this broadcast, please hit that like button, hit that share button, let the world know that we exist. And, of course, if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and being monetized here on this great and glorious platform known as YouTube. If you want to help us out a little bit more directly, we have a link for our donation station and our merch store in the chat and in the description below this video. If you want to go ahead and do either one of those things, that would help us out absolutely tremendously. And I could not thank you enough for doing that. Again, I think we're going to be in the process here of moving over our donation station to Patreon. According to some of our fellow community members, it's a little bit easier to do donations through there. So I will go ahead and do that, obviously. If you guys want to donate and are saying it's easier to donate through there and that the Buy Me a Coffee is kind of a pain in the ass, then I will go ahead and move along and do that for you there. But, of course, we also have the merch store, which is like donating, except you actually get something pretty cool in return. And I only make like a tenth of what it costs. So, you know, you buy the T-shirt. I think the T-shirts are like $25 or something like that. I get like $2 or something. It is what it is. But I like doing the designs, and I certainly hope that you'll wear them and have fun with them as well. Paul in the chat says, hey, dickhead made it. Paul showing the eggplant emoji, showing that he's got a little bit of a turgid chub, seeing that the Chargers are right back into this game, only now a touchdown deficit. Can the Chargers defense hold the Texans here, though? C.J. Stroud, outside of that first quarter with those 2 touchdowns, has been iffy. That Chargers offense not as efficient as it was. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But we got 13 seconds left in the third quarter. Then we got the whole fourth quarter to go, baby. And it's shaping up to be, hopefully, a good game here in Inglewood, California in the fourth quarter. Crafty says, buy me a coffee. Can't even buy you some gum. That's kind of right. By the way, if you donate more than $110, you'll get your name in the ticker. Right now, you see Pecan going over there, donate $110. He's been on the leaderboard for well over a year now. If you want to go ahead and replace Pecan, who is one of our great and glorious fans there, our resident Saints fan, donate more than $110 and you'll get your name into the ticker. Right now, 13 seconds left. Kickoff is away. And that's going to land at the goal line and return to the 10, to the 15, returned to the 20, returned to the 25, and dropped there. So that is where the Texans will start, 1st and 10, from the 25 with 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Just showing a highlight of Herbert on that last drive, taking some hits, standing in the pocket, getting that first down pass on third down. 6 seconds. Stroud under center. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off here. Jordan runs it up the right side for about 1-2 yards, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter, with the Houston Texans still having a 1-touchdown lead at SoFi Stadium over the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the fourth quarter. You know what that means. If you've ever been to a game, college, pro, high school, you'll see the coaches, you'll see the players on the sideline. When that fourth quarter hits, they all throw the 4 fingers up in the air. Why? Because they're there. They are committed to all 4 quarters, and so are we here on Stay Tuned Sports. So if you're in the chat, if you're at home, just randomly out on the street for some reason, put the 4s up. If you're in the chat, put a 4 up, put the number 4, put a Roman numeral 4, put the emoji 4s. I know Crafty loves putting the emoji 4s. Whatever you're going to want, however you put it up there, get the 4s up to show that you, too, are dedicated for all 4 quarters in every game that we do here on Stay Tuned Sports. Woo! Couldn't have done that. That's going to rip my throat out. Lloyd loves doing the superscript 4, little tiny 4. That's very nice. Always like that one. Check out some of these scores here. Well, BYU's come all the way back in the Pop-Tart Bowl. There's 19 seconds remaining. They have a 25-21 lead on Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech has a 3rd and 10 from the BYU 18-yard line. But a field goal does no good for Georgia Tech. They need a touchdown if they want to take the lead and possibly win that game. The Snoop Dogg Bowl, Fresno State has a 9-3 lead there with 2:31 left in the third quarter. North Texas has a 28-13 lead over San Diego State in the New Mexico Bowl. Army beat UConn in the Fenway Bowl, 41-16 down in New York City. The Bronx, Penn State, they win a bowl game over Clemson, 22-10. Is this the end of Dabo Swinney? God, I hope so. And by the way, also at the end of the first period, the Rangers are losing to the New York Islanders 1-0. As we all know here, the Rangers suck. That counts, Crafty. I always counted your golfer emojis as 4, even though it's F-O-R-E in golf. I'll count it. I'll allow it. Stroud throws down the field, and that is going to be out of bounds, incomplete. That was 2nd and 7. Sorry, now it's 3rd and 7. I could have sworn it was only a 2-yard gain on that first down play at the end of the quarter, but they say he got 3. Oh, whatever. Oh, what do I know? I'm just some fat loser sitting here watching football on YouTube streams. I don't know what I'm talking about. Stroud in shotgun takes the snap, looks, throws down the field, incomplete. But there's a flag down, and they're going to call roughing the passer on this, and I think that's bullshit. That's a bad call by the officials. Let's take a look here. Did the Texans just get saved? Crafty says make-up call by the refs in the chat. Where is their... Oh, my God. That's a terrible call. How do you call that roughing the passer? You've got to be kidding me. Wow. That is absurd. So the refs give the Texans a fresh set of downs. From the 43-yard line, it's going to be a 3-yard run for Woody Marks. Unbelievable. By the way, fuck the refs. Hoodies and T-shirts available over at the Stay Tuned Sports merch store. Link in the top of the chat or in the description below. Comes pre-pixelated, so you don't have to worry about breaking any local obscenity laws. You can go to bit.ly/Stay Tuned Merch. That's bit.ly/Stay Tuned Merch to get your Fuck the Refs hoodie or T-shirts, or go to the link in the top of the chat or in the description below. 2nd and 7. Stroud throws to Schultz, and that's going to get no yards on that one. They're going to mark that as a no-yard gain. 3rd and 7 from the Texans' 46-yard line. Paul in the chat says, rigged! Rigged! Refs have influenced this season like no other year. The Chargers crowd at home, which is usually only about, 20 or 30% of their own fans, trying to get loud. 3rd and 7. Trips in a bunch out to the left for Stroud, who's in shotgun. He takes the snap. He looks, throws towards the left, and that's going to be out of bounds. Ball overthrown, incomplete. 4th and 7. Ball, don't lie. And after getting a horrendous roughing the passer call, the Texans then go 3 and out here on that after the penalty, and they're going to punt the ball away with it being 4th and 7. Crafty says the refs just prolonged the inevitable there. I was going to say, man, the Texans' offense, outside of that first quarter, they have been not great. Oh, no, and that's going to be a great special teams play for the Texans as it is marked down at the 1-yard line. Oh, no. So where was that touch? They might move that to the 2. 98 yards to glory for the Chargers to tie the game. 13-13 remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll see what happens there. Paul in the chat says, come on, Chargers. Need a touchdown on this drive. 98 yards against this Texans defense. Can the Chargers and Justin Herbert make what some believe to be impossible happen? We're going to find out here in just a moment. Paul says, boy, you got to be kidding me. It's just the challenges are never ending. That's what makes the NFL game so tough and so fun to watch. Crafty in the chat says the Texans have a great special teams since D'Amico took over. Crafty says, hey, 98 yards. That's the same length of Elway's The Drive. Here's the thing, though. If the Chargers are able to drive, get a touchdown here, and tie the game up, I don't know who's going to remember it more, Charger fans or Colts fans, depending on what happens. By the way, Georgia Tech was not able to score a touchdown on that final drive against BYU. So the Cougars, BYU, they win the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and they win a lifetime supply of diabetes. We got a Plants vs. Zombies costume in the stands there at Inglewood. Very weird. So here we go. 1st and 10. For the Chargers from the 2. Herbert back in his own end zone. Looks, throws. That's going to be caught. And he's going to get forward progress, but it's going to be a loss of a yard anyway. In an area where you can't lose yardage. The Chargers somehow lose yardage. So now 2nd and 11 from the 1. Crafty in the chat says, what the fuck was that? Herbert in shotgun again. Throws deep. Ball over. Throws and inaccurate too. He's looking for Quentin Johnson. 3rd and 11. Chargers they got to do something. They're going to be punting from the shadow of their own goalposts. And you don't want to do that. Herbert in the huddle, calling the play. The Texans defense smelling blood in the water. The Chargers offensive staff up in the booth drinking Diet Pepsi. Herbert about halfway in his own end zone, takes a snap on the shotgun. Steps up. Now he's going to throw sideways. I think he was over the line. That's going to be a first down if that stands. They're going to look at this. They're going to look at this. Flag is down. They're going to say he was over the line. I think they're going to look at it. So they picked up the flag, but they threw it, so that's why it goes into the counter. That's why it's the flag counter and not a penalty counter. They threw the flag. You got to stop the play. You had to make an announcement. You just had to get on TV, huh, ref? So that's it. The entire body has to be over the line of scrimmage for it to be that. And so it's first down for the Chargers from the 19. Handoff on first down. Going to be gain of a yard. Patterson with the run there for the 1 yard gain. 2nd and 9 from the 20. $11 and 20 left in the fourth quarter. Herbert steps back, throws well out of bounds, off target, maybe some miscommunication. I don't know. But either way, incomplete. 3rd and 9 from the 20. Crafty in the chat was still, yeah, I thought he was too far ahead. I guess not. Yeah. That's one of those things with the line of scrimmages. I remember that happened a couple of years ago with, I think it was Eli Manning. And it was like the back of his heel was still behind the line of scrimmage. So it was a legal pass. Like they looked at that for like 20 minutes. They had the replay on that. Herbert on 3rd and 9. He's going to look, throws. That's going to be caught, but only good for about a yard. Hampton gets that. And it's going to be 4th and 8 from their own 21. The Chargers are going to have to punt the ball away. Crafty in the chat says, Denver fans have never rooted so hard for the Texans, and Jaguars and Colts fans have never rooted so hard for the Chargers. I don't disagree with that. So now with 10:42 remaining, the Chargers punt the ball away. And that's going to be, where are they going to place this one? They're going to say it is out at the Houston Texan 45-yard line. So Houston in great field position. 1st and 10 from their own 45. 10:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. Can Houston close this game out, or will the Chargers have an opportunity to tie coming up soon? We're going to find out here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. I'm your boy King, hanging out with you, having a couple drinks on this Christmas weekend. I certainly hope you all had a great and wonderful holiday with your family, with your friends. And like I said, sometimes you get to spend it by yourself, man. And sometimes that solitude works out wonders, trust me. But thank you so much for joining us here. If you like anything about this channel, any part of it, including my beautiful, sexy, wonderful face, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button, let the world know that we exist here. That would be fantastic. And of course, if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Also, I will sit here and I will tell you the glories and wonders that is the mixture of Jägermeister and Diet Mountain Dew. Maybe one of the greatest concoctions ever created by mankind. It is wonderful. It will send your nervous system into a death spiral. Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes it's what you need. And, you can't always get what you want. But sometimes you might find you get what you need. Check it out. We already know what's going on with the bowl games. Any more hockey other than just Rangers Islanders going on right now? Islanders still leading in that game. One thing. Oh, they got other games going now. We are past the 7 o'clock mark here on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. Bruins and Sabres, Lightning and Panthers, Capitals and my New Jersey Devils, and the Red Wings and Hurricanes, all scoreless, as they have just had puck drop in those games to start those off. Rangers and Islanders, they're already in the second period, as I mentioned with the Islanders. They 1-0 lead over the New York Blue Shits. First down and 10 for the Texans, as they are on their 45-yard line. Stroud under center. That's going to be a handoff to Woody Marks, and Woody Marks goes for 9 yards, just short of the first down. 2nd and 1 upcoming for the Texans, as they are already now in Chargers territory at the 46. Paul in the chat saying, defense, 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 as he's hoping like hell the Chargers defense can help keep his Colts in the playoff race. Can they? Will they? Or will the Texans ice this game away on this drive? We're going to find out here in just a moment. 2nd and 1, 10 minutes remaining. Handoff to Marks, and he's going to fall over the first down line for 3 yards. First down, Texans. Keep the chains moving. Keep the clock moving. That's more important for the Texans right now than I think anything else. Woody Marks has had 12 rushes for 57 yards in this game so far. D'Amico Ryans on the sidelines there. This is his 3rd or 4th year with the Texans. That's his 3rd year, yeah, because he started with C.J. Stroud, right? Yeah. Hand off to Woody Marks. Woody Marks is going to go for 7 yards on first down, 2nd and 3. As long as he's doing that, I would say keep the ball out of Stroud's hands. Run the ball, run the clock. The Texans seem to understand here. If you can be some pretty decent clock suckers right now, you can win this game and not have to worry about, whether or not the Chargers get the ball back or if they get it back or whatever. If you're able to run a lot of clock off here, if you're able to suck that clock really good and deep and get a field goal out of this anyway, now it's a 2-possession game and you'll leave the Chargers with basically nothing. Play clock down to 1. That's it. They are milking this clock like a big pair of... We got a flag here. And that's going to be the 10th flag thrown in the game. Not 10th penalty, 10th flag. You guys know how we do it here. Lined up in the neutral zone on the Chargers. That's a 5-yard penalty, and that's going to be an automatic first down. Ball at the 31 now of the Chargers. So well within field goal range. And now if you're the Chargers, it is, and the Colts, it is not looking good. Paul says, suck it really good and deep. Yeah, dude, you got to be able to suck that clock. And that's a lot of teams, as we've seen in these games, they don't suck the clock as well as they said. You got to suck that clock down. You've got to be clock suckers when it comes to these fourth quarters. And a lot of teams still want to get fancy and they want to do, oh, my God! Oh, Woody Marks might be dead. Oh, Khalil Mack just buried that man. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Oh, ow, I felt that here. And I'm 4,000 miles away. Holy shit. That's a loss of 4 yards and also a loss of a soul on that play. Khalil Mack with the play, 2nd and 14 coming up here. Oh, my God. Handoff here. This time to Jordan as Woody Marks has to get time to place his soul back into his body. That's going to be a 9-yard run for Jordan, and it's 3rd and 5. Now for the Texans, down at the Chargers, 26-yard line. .652, 6:51, 6:50 remaining and counting here in the fourth quarter. Play clock at 6. Play clock is now under 5. We were at 3. We're at 2. And the Texans are going to call a timeout. So here we go. 3rd and 5 from the 26. Stroud is in shotgun. Got a bunch formation, trips to his left. Play clock down to 3 again. Down to 2. They get the snap off. Oh, he's getting pressured. He's hit as he throws. That falls incomplete. No flag. Incomplete. 4th and 5 from the 26. And the Texans will now go for the field goal. 6:33 remaining. This will make it a 2-possession game as I'm starting to salivate like a dork. Snap, down, kick, up is good. And Fairbairn makes it a 2-possession game, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's 6:29. They have all 3 timeouts due to the Chargers, but it's been very hard for them to kind of get anything going in this game. Can they somehow, in 6 minutes and 29 seconds, get the ball twice, stop the Texans from scoring anymore, and somehow either tie this game or perhaps even pull ahead to take the lead? It seems unlikely. It seems highly improbable. But we have seen some weird, wacky, wild shit this season. Honestly, in just the last 2 weeks, we've seen some crazy-ass games. So never say never. And thank you for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. As we're seeing, maybe we'll see a miracle. Maybe we watched. Listen, we saw it the other week with the Rams and Seahawks and the Bears and Packers and the Patriots and Ravens. Like last week was nuts in the primetime games. They really were. So let's see. Maybe we'll have the same thing happen here in beautiful Southern California at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Hutchinson getting ready to kick this ball off for the Texans. And the kick is up and away. That's going to land at the 2, return to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and no further than that. Crafty says, even a field goal under these circumstances feels like a dagger. I don't disagree. Like I said, they ran that ball pretty well to start the drive. They took a lot of time off the clock, and then they got points to make it a 2-possession game. That's, if you're the Texans, I think you probably would have liked to get a little bit more time off the clock, but not like it. That was a good drive. If I'm the Texans, I'm a Texans fan. That's a good drive. So here we go. 1st and 10 from the 25. Herbert in shotgun. He steps back. He throws deep over the middle. Caught! Led McConkey. And that's going to be a first down, 31 yards down the field. 1st and 10 at the Texans' 44-yard line. Big play from the Chargers. Just what they needed. Crafty says, just as I said, I was going to say, man. 1st and 10 from the 44 of the Texans. Herbert takes the snap. He's going to have to step up and run it himself. He does. Gain of 2 yards. 2nd and 8 from the 42-yard line. Clock keeps ticking, though. 5:35 and counting here in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 8 Chargers. Texans are running a substitution on the field. Texans cheating, as usual. Hampton is going to get a gain of a yard, maybe 2 on the play. 3rd and 6 upcoming down at the Houston Texan 40-yard line. So we're 3rd and 6. Herbert steps back, and he's going to get sacked back at the 50. Jeez. Oh, we got a flag down. Hold on before we go ahead and hit the sack button. What is this? There's a flag at the 30 down at the defensive backfield. This feels like it's going to be against the defense. Illegal contact on the Texans. Oh, somebody was wearing a Gazoo helmet. Who is that? Bobblehead couldn't see where he was going and crashed into the receiver, says Crafty. Crafty loves making fun of the Guardian helmet, guys. 1st and 10 for the Chargers. Herbert steps back, looks, throws down the field. Caught! Down to the 10-yard line. Aronde Gadsden. 1st down for the Chargers. And they're going to say that's officially on the 10, so it's 1st and goal for the Chargers. Herbert steps back, looks, throws. He's going for the end zone. Duh. Falls incomplete. He was looking for Keenan Allen. Does not complete it. 2nd and goal. 3:51 remaining in the 4th quarter. Second and goal here for the Chargers from the 10. 3:51. Herbert's in shotgun. He takes the snap. He steps. He's rolling. Can't escape. Now he's sacked. And then he's hit late. And no flag down for that one.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
Oh, there's a flag down. There's a flag in the end zone. Hold on. Oh, wow. The Texans are falling apart on defense here. That's holding in the end zone. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down. Oh, no. Oh, no. Paul in the chat says, go Chargers, go. Where'd Irish go? Trips to the right here for Herbert. He steps up, throws. Oh, had a man in the end zone. Was that McConkey? Yeah, missed him. Incomplete. 2nd and goal. 3:40 remaining in the 4th. Lloyd in the chat says, I got the Texans here. So here we go. 2nd down and goal from the 5. It's going to be a handoff to Marion Hampton, and he runs it in. Touchdown! Chargers! Whoa, baby, we ain't done yet here.
Go Chargers, go!
And the Chargers are an extra point from making it a field goal game. They have all 3 timeouts remaining. Extra point coming up here. The Texans murdered themselves with penalties on that drive. Dicker missed the extra point. We got a flag down, however. Offsides on the Chargers. Penalties declined. And instead of having a 3-point game, Dicker has missed a field goal, and now he's missed an extra point. And instead of being a field goal game to tie it, now the Chargers need a touchdown. Crafty in the chat says, Dick has... I'm at a loss. He needs, again, if Dicker doesn't miss that field goal and doesn't miss that extra point, this is a tie game right now. So right now, if you're a Chargers fan or if you're a Colts fan, you are pinning this right now all on Dicker. What are you doing? Dicker has been limp so far in this very important Week 17 game. Paul in the chat says, "Are you effing kidding me? Chargers are a joke." Crafty says Dicker gets elected to the Pro Bowl and then lays an egg. Yeah. Kickoff gets taken to the 26-yard line. That's where the Texans will start. 3:32 remaining. Chargers have all 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. And they are down 4 points because Dicker can't hit a goddamn football. Paul says the defense needs a 3-and-out. I don't disagree with you. They need a 3-and-out, and they need to take the timeouts. This is big. If the Strouds, I almost said Stroudsburg. If the Strouds, the Texans here do get at least like 1 first down doesn't end the game. 2 first downs might. Run on first down. That's going to be no yards gained on that one. Woody Marks. And the Chargers take their first timeout. Stop the clock with 3:28 remaining. Second and 10 coming up here for the Texans after that 0-yard run. Paul says this is sad. Lloyd says let's go Texans. We are talking about a drunk kicker. Lloyd is Lloyd's his Lions got eliminated on Christmas, so I think he just kind of wants everybody else to be as miserable as he is in football. Well, I was like, my team got knocked out. I want to see everybody else knocked out too. Stroud throws over the middle. That's going to be caught by Nico Collins down to the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 Texans. That's not what you needed if you're the Chargers. That's exactly why, Paul. He's like, he watched his Lions lay an absolute egg against Max Brosmer, of all people, and the Vikings to get knocked out of the playoffs. So he's like, Oh, Lloyd says, my brother gave me the Colts sickness. He only played as them when we were children. Handoff here to Woody Marks, and that's going to be a loss of 2 yards. Chargers take their second timeout, 2:37 remaining. Now we're talking about here where this is definitely a case where another first down will pretty much end the game. Paul says, either way, can't seem to get a stop, it seems. Well, we'll see here. 2nd and 12, 2:37 remaining, 1 timeout, and the 2-minute warning. Lloyd going nuts for the Texans in the chat. Paul rooting like hell for the Chargers. 2nd and 12 coming up here. Texans are going to hand it off clearly. That's going to be run to the right, only about a gain of 3 yards. 3rd and 9 coming up, 2:32, and the clock stops because the Chargers have used their final timeout. Big down coming up here, 3rd and 9 from their own 46-yard line. The Texans get a first down. It will be the end of the game. If the Chargers defense can hold them, the Chargers have a shot. Let's see what happens. Paul says, F the Lions. I used to always pull for them. I now have a reason to cheer against them. Look, Stay Tuned Sports Chat. We're just creating new rivalries as we go along here. 3rd and 9. Stroud is in shotgun. He's got Woody Marks and Schultz in the backfield with him. Takes the snap. Back to pass. He's going to get sacked. And he's sacked. Oh, he takes a sack. We've got a flag down, though. It's going to be against the Chargers, illegal contact down the field. That's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down, game's over. The Texans win on a penalty. That's it. That ends the game. That's a bad call, too. That's a bad call. That's a bad call. And that's the game. It's over. Texans can just kneel on the ball now. And to end it on that kind of call. What a terrible call that was. What a terrible call. Fuck the refs. Hoodie and t-shirts available over at the Stay Tuned Sports merch store, bit.ly/staytunedmerch, bit.ly/staytunedmerch, or go to the link at the top of the chat or in the description below. Got robbed by another great finish by the refs with a bad call. 2nd and 2 after an 8-yard run by Marks, and that's going to bring it to the 2-minute warning. The receiver initiated the contact, and, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Lloyd says, I know, that's ass. Like again, even the people that were rooting against them, rooting for the Texans are like, oh, man, that's rough. That's a rough way to end the game. That's a rough way to end the game. We had a chance at a real good classic finish here, and the refs just couldn't allow it to happen. They said, not on our watch. Fuck you. We're going to make a bad call to make sure that this game ends the way we decide it ends. Yeah, the receiver ran through the defender, and somehow the defender gets called for illegal contact. That's such a bad call. And that's what I mean. There needs to be the sky ref that comes down and says that they need to institute the sky ref that can come down and say that is not a flag. They need that. You know how they'll throw a flag sometimes and then they'll get together and say, okay, actually no flag, and they pick it up. That's fine. They need that from the sky. Somebody upstairs looking at that, because that's the kind of play where only like really one official on the field is going to see that. They need someone up in the sky to be like, that is not a penalty. Pick that up. Crafty says the refs just decided the playoff thing. They just decided the Colts season, too. The referees just ended the Indianapolis Colts season. Paul says that's a rough way to end the Colts season. Yeah. Fuck, had to suffer through 4 quarters for this, yeah. Well, the refs union, the CBA with the refs ends after this season, and the NFL wants to institute a lot of different changes. I think they want to put full-time refs. I don't know how full-time refs is going to help at all, because you still have dumbasses in the game. Like some people are like, "Oh, full-time refs, that'll fix everything." No, the fuck it won't. But they want to institute like a couple other changes, and the refs union is fighting against it. So we'll see where that leads. I don't think. Oh, Pereira's trying to say it's the right call. It's not, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to fight against you on this one. But he's an official. He's an official expert. It's still not the right call, and especially in this type of game, in that type of environment, no. On a call that's going to be that tight, I don't think you call that. There's a first down. That is going to be the game, and this game is over. Texans can go ahead and just kneel this sucker out. And the Texans win 20-17. That means that they are still alive for the AFC South title. That means the Broncos have clinched the AFC West, I believe. And that means that the Indianapolis Colts have been eliminated from playoff contention. Lloyd says, fuck Mike Pereira. He fucked my Lions for years when he was a referee. Paul in the chat says, honestly, I'm tired of the BS. I'm starting to question the integrity of the league. That's the thing. It's not so much the league. It's the officials. Like, the officials need accountability, and they've lacked any kind of accountability for decades. And that needs to change, and the NFL needs to change how they get the, like, we need, like I said, we need the sky ref. We need transparency. Like, we've seen it now in the UFL, XFL, USFL, whatever it is now. We've seen that in there for years now. We've seen it now with the ACC and their review process, how everybody's mic'd up. We hear the booth. We hear the headquarters. We hear the ref. We hear how the decisions are made. We hear all of that. Like, that's all there. So we have all that. That needs to happen in the NFL. And the officials and the officials union is fighting like hell against that. And until that gets fixed, I don't know how we fix that. But, like, so we'll see. I think this offseason coming up with the referees union and the NFL trying to negotiate a new CBA, I think we're going to find out what happens there. But the Texans now clinch the playoffs. That is their franchise record, third straight season for clinching a playoff berth. And like we said, still alive for the AFC South title. No offense, Paul, but I'm going to be rooting like hell for the Jaguars. Not that I hate the Texans. But I can't root for a team that has Aziz Al-Shahir on it. So, sorry, Irish. Sorry, I know. I'm a bad person. Crafty says, I wonder if the Chargers will rest the final week versus Denver since they can no longer win the division. I don't know if there's still a question of seeding about if they win or lose where they would end up. So we'd have to see how the rest of this week plays out. And then I think we're going to find out who rests, who doesn't, what games next week are actually worth anything, what games are not. And we'll figure it out all from there at the end of this week. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining us here for Texans versus Chargers. Texans win 20-16 as they clinch a playoff berth and stay alive. Paul, our resident Colts fan in the chat, says, fuck it, I'm rooting for the Bills. For the playoffs, yeah, that's fine. You got to pick your playoff team. I'm a Giants fan. I'm used to picking, who am I going to root for in the playoffs? Because I know the Giants are going to be there. Lloyd says, expect more games like this for you. Again, I think if we can get something similar to the XFL and the ACC as far as review process transparency for the television viewer at home and a sky ref. A legitimate official that is just in front of the screen with his PlayStation controller and reviewing every play that happens, every call that happens, and being able to call down and say, yes, no, maybe so, and making sure that we get these calls right. And like on a play like that, have it be like, man, he ran right into the offensive player, initiated contact, ran into the defensive player. That is not illegal contact. Pick up that flag. Like, we need that. We need to have that. We need to hear that transparency. We need to hear that communication. Like we've seen in the ACC, in college football, we have that. I think there's another. Does the MAC do it? I know there's another conference that does it as well. And like we've seen in spring ball with the XFL, USFL, UFL, whatever the fuck they call themselves now. I'm trying to curse less. But I think that's the key. If you do that, then it makes it, there's less of a fight back. There's less of a question. And especially with how prevalent gambling has become, I think that's 1,000% needed. I don't disagree with that at all. But Crafty in the chat says everything is moot anyway since the 49ers are just going to roll through whatever's in front of them. Dude, I'll tell you what. And again, I don't like the Niners. Just being a Giants fan, kid who grew up in the 80s. They had the dynasty that I think the Giants should have had. With that defense, then the Giants should have had it. So I never liked the 49ers. Plus, fuck San Francisco. Or just the Santa Clara area, as it were. But part of me really wants to root for them because of how they've come back from all these injuries and are still playing at such a high level. And I like Brock Purdy. I like George Kittle. Like, I like that. I like John Lynch as a G. Like, I like that team. I do. Outside of the fact that they're the 49ers. I hate their fans. I have a former friend of mine who was a 49ers fan. And, again, I like that guy. I did for a while, but things happened and, whatever. People change. Circumstances change. They meet other people, and then they kind of get molded and screwed over and changed by those people. And, life happens, baby. Life happens. So, part of me, doesn't want to see him be happy. Obviously, go fuck himself. But that's not true. That's not true. I still like the guy, And despite anything else, and despite the fact that he's not going to talk to me ever again, whatever, that's fine. I don't care. I still like the guy. So despite all that and how I feel about their fans or any other personal attachments that I have, I kind of want to root for the Niners. I really do. I kind of really want to. I want to do that. Paul says the 49ers defense isn't good. It's not as good as it could be. Like if you still had Bosa there, and you still had half the other people that have been injured on that defense, I think you'd be. I think they'd be better, but for what has happened to them and the fact that they're still playing at such a high level, I'll take it. I'll take it. Plus the offense is, Brock Purdy is amazing. He really is. And I really am getting tired of people still trying to find a way to shit on that kid. Like, guys, you got to stop it. The kid's pretty fucking good. All right. He's not, stop trying to make Brock Purdy sucks happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. We're going to see here. Paul says, it's just not worth my time this year, year after year. It's not a legit game anymore. These games are so close, and it seems like gambling will always be a cloud over the NFL. I mean, technically, nothing's really changed other than gambling's become legal in a lot more states other than Nevada. That's it. There was always bookies. People always had the bookies. They could always find the spreads and the lines in your local newspaper. None of this is new. None of this is, this idea of gambling. If anything, the thing that has made gambling less a thing is the fact that these players make so much money. Unless you get some of the real dumb ones, and they're there. You've seen it in the NBA, you see some of it in the NFL. You get some of the real dumb ones. They'll do it for. It's get an extra $100,000. It's 0.1% of what their salary is. And they're risking all of that to do prop bets and shit. So, it's obviously a big problem with the NBA, as we've seen, with that particular criminal investigation ongoing. But I think as far as that goes, now again, can they get to referees? Can they do things like that? Perhaps, But again, these refs are making so much money hand over fist. A lot of them are hedge fund managers and people that are already making millions and tens of millions of dollars in their side job. So, it's really, Crafty says, sadly ironic that it's the Chargers who put the final nail into Rivers' playoff hopes. Hey, listen, he's got 2 more games out there that he can just go and do his best, and I certainly hope he does well. Crafty says, what the hell is the point of botting after the game? Yeah, we guys still getting the bots coming in here. So, I don't know. Maybe they still like hearing me talk about a little post-game show here or a little Stay Tuned Sports post-game show. But speaking of the end of the post-game show, that's going to do it for us here on Stay Tuned Sports. I think I am not going to be able to do tonight's game. My throat is get worked. I used to be the throat goat, as they say, but not anymore. I'm so dumb. This is such a dumb channel. I don't even know why we do these things. But it's fun. It's fun that we do it. But, so enjoy tonight's game with the Ravens and the Packers. I will see you here most likely tomorrow for the Giants-Raiders at 4 o'clock. And we'll watch that, and then we'll watch, obviously, the Bears and it's Bears and Niners on Sunday night. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. That'll be a good one. Bears and Niners on Sunday night. Again, if you liked any part of this broadcast, any part of this channel, anything at all, please hit that like button. It does help us out. Hit that share button. Let people know this channel exists. That helps us out tremendously as well. And, of course, if you haven't done so yet and you're still sticking around, please hit that subscribe button. That certainly obviously helps us as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and hopefully being monetized here on this great and glorious platform known as YouTube. And, again, if you want to help us out more directly, we have our link to the donation station and our merch store down in the description below. That's also where you can go ahead and get, as we were just discussing here, your Fuck the Refs hoodie and T-shirts. You can get those there as well. That'll be fun. Plus a lot more other stuff. We got a bunch of stuff in there. Look around, enjoy, pick up what you want. We got some coffee in there, too. You still get the Danny Dimes blend if it's in there as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow. Crafty says, what if I share the hit button? You can hit the share button or you can hit the share button. Just don't share the shit button. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. You want to stay away from that as much as you can. But until tomorrow at 4 o'clock when we'll watch the Giants and the Raiders in Tank Bowl 2025, my name is King. This has been Stay Tuned Sports. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas Saturday, everybody.